out here, and they're using this all-terrain vehicle to make its way through the
Hey everybody, welcome
very
to
wet
the live.
area. They have a crew. Now what they'll do is occasionally they stop. They also have a dog on board, and they are searching in the area out and around in this wooded area. I'll move the camera out a little bit wide and show you just how heavily wooded this area is. We've also seen helicopters flying around, and we started at the
Hey man, welcome. So I hope you guys are doing good. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the details about this case. I also wanted to take some phone calls. I'm not on Facebook. I had some sort of issue when I was trying to launch the live. I said, you know what, let's just go with YouTube. So we're on YouTube. And a couple of things that we're going to talk about is some of the newer things, like this whole van situation. Okay. Oh, did I just lose everybody? What happened? Are we good? Hey, what's up, guys? Am I having issues here?
This is the best purchase I've had in the last year.
Tovala.
Are we good? Okay, just checking, guys. We good with the connection? Okay.
This is the best purchase.
Yeah, we're good. I feel like we dropped a bunch and then came back. It's kind of weird. But okay, we're going to keep rolling. You good? Okay, so there is this couple. Okay. This video blew up. It's in the news. Everybody's talking about it. And they're stating that, let me read the description. I put the link in the description as well, so you can go watch their entire video. I'm just going to show the portion a little bit where they drive by the van. But it says, we were editing our Sunday video tonight, and we were looking at footage from August 27th, 2021, around 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. in Spread Creek, in the dispersed camping area, which is, sorry, get this cough drop thing going. Which this dispersed creek, Spread Creek, is pretty interesting because this is what the FBI was talking about 18 hours ago. And by the way, if you guys dropped off, just come back. The connection was weird, but we're smooth now. The FBI actually said 18 hours ago, if you were in the camping area of Spread Creek, dispersed camping area as identified in the attached map during the time frame of August 27th to August 30th, 2021, and saw Gabby or her boyfriend or their vehicle, please provide that information to the FBI. So they say that they were in this area. Okay. And we're going to do calls, by the way, for the people that just joined. We're going to do calls. We're going to talk about the TikTokers. The mother, Gabby's mother, also spoke out and said that she doesn't believe Miranda, this TikToker. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. So I'm going to present a couple of things, and then I want you guys to call. I want to hear your thoughts, maybe things that I missed, maybe things that we're all missing, maybe theories that nobody's heard. And it says when we passed the van, all the lights were off and it didn't look like anyone was there. We ended up leaving because we couldn't find a good spot. So this is, oops.
We actually weren't able to find any sites, and we ended up driving back through, saw it again, but here it is on the left.
And somebody pointed out, somebody said, what was the timestamp? You said in the chat, 1:13. Somebody said,
so.
And I slowed it down so you can possibly see it a little bit better.
So this is definitely the van right here.
Kind of freaky for a late Saturday evening, but we just kind of had a brain fart. Oh my God, there's that van. So if you get anybody can help, I know the FBI is looking for all the help they can get onto the case.
No, I think it was 1:13. I saw people in groups and stuff like that.
Way that we can help and get this out there to be able to find gaps.
Up on it, we're approaching it up here on the left-hand side. This is most
that happens. Hold on.
It's definitely Gabby Petito's Ford Transit van. It's kind of wild, like it's insane a little bit because we drove.
Somebody pointed out there was like somebody standing out in the field.
Drove past. We actually weren't able to find any sites, and we ended up driving back through. Saw.
I don't know if that is or not. Is that something? I don't know. Somebody said they thought it was like somebody standing out.
But here it is on the left
in the field. So this got a lot of attention. It's in the news. Okay, it's on Twitter. Reporters are talking about it. They're taking the clips. They're discussing this. And this article here says August 27th. Footage of the 2012 Ford Transit was spotted August 27th by the travel bloggers Jen and Kyle Bethune, if that's how you say it. They're going to get me on that. We came across a white van that had Florida plates, a small white van, and we were going to stop and say hi because we're from Florida too. Everything's all in Florida, it seems like. But the van was completely dark. There was nobody there, so we decided to continue our way. So this just kind of adds on to the whole mystery. Let me show you really quick the map too. And a bunch of people on yesterday's video, a bunch of people got me about the pronunciation. Is it Teton? It's Teton, right? There had to be at least 100 comments. I got people were reaching out to me, all kinds of stuff. But this is Grand Teton National Park. Okay, in this area, I believe the search in Wyoming for Gabby is around here somewhere. I'm not sure exactly the boundaries. And so if somebody calls in too that knows about this area, that can tell us a little bit about this area, I'd like to hear that too. That'd be interesting. And there has also been mention of this Arizona Creek Trail. I mean, it's all within the vicinities of each other. The other thing too that happened today, I believe, that you guys might have missed, maybe you didn't, maybe you did, was where is it? Okay. So I guess, these people are parked outside of Brian's house 24/7. This guy, Brian, is not there. He wasn't there, I guess, when all the people showed up on Friday. This guy's been gone, I believe. It seems like. Do you guys even believe this guy's at this park? Okay. But I guess today they spotted the mother.
Hi, Roberta. Can I ask you a few questions?
Yosemite.
Why are you covering up for your son?
Yosemite.
Why aren't you helping with the police?
So there, they spotted. The comments. That last live, the comments were killing me. It was crazy. It's nuts. This whole story is nuts. I was actually watching CNN. I don't watch CNN normally. It was just there. I came across the TV. They were talking about, how crazy this story has gotten. They were talking about bloggers and true crime and podcasts and the pros and cons and and the forums. And I mean, I believe it's like a double-edged sword, kind of. It's like a double-edged sword. Like, for example, yesterday, right? The other thing we got to talk about briefly, I'm trying to bring in just quick updates before I do the calls, and we'll get to the TikTokers. But yesterday there was a whole rumor about a body being found out there at this Carlton Reserve, which Carlton Reserve, it's huge. Carlton Reserve, 24,000 acres, give or take. It's a park that's connected, I think, with other places. It's a huge area. There is a bunch of wildlife. It's also very flooded from what I read. I mean, last night I spent some time and I was looking at some YouTube videos. I mean, there's all kinds of things out there. Alligators, I think deer, snakes, panthers, just a lot of different things. So I couldn't imagine being out there at night, but this guy's an outdoors type of person. So, but with the body thing yesterday, I forgot to pull up Northport Police. But this was put out. So just to get it correct and straight in case people still thinking and talking about the body, Northport Police say reports of the body being located where they are searching is completely fake, and they also posted it on their Facebook. Twitter. So it's important to kind of correct those things. I think that's the reason why everybody jumped on the scanner yesterday. Yesterday I kind of took a break. I fell back, but once this report came, and I don't know who said it, that they heard that. I don't know if it was a complete fabricated lie to troll people, or maybe somebody thought they heard that, or maybe somebody was tuned into a different channel. I don't know. Next thing you know, the entire internet is tuned in to the scanner radio. Everybody's listening to the scanner. It's like thousands, 15,000. I don't know how many people were. I was getting texts. I was getting all kind of things. I was like, damn, this thing is crazy. And I want to show you some clips too. Brian Laundrie's parents say they last saw him Tuesday when he went for a hike at the Carlton Reserve. And so the whole investigation right now, I mean, unless there's things we don't know, is based off of what Brian's family says. Brian's family calls police because they're concerned about their son. It doesn't seem like anything about Gabby. They're just concerned about their son. And authorities are trying to corroborate the parents' story. Let's see. And so supposedly Brian's been missing since Tuesday. They didn't report it until Friday. This is a look at what is happening out in Carlton. Reserve police are there because Brian Laundrie's parents told them that is where he went for a hike on Tuesday. They didn't report him missing until Friday. Detectives are trying to corroborate the story. These are some pictures. These people, they're pulling out the works. It's muddy, swampy. I've seen things that I haven't seen for some missing kids on this search. You know, I'm just like, wow. And for them saying that they have no crime, which maybe they know things we don't. Maybe it's a thing where they know he's involved, but they can't prove it or something. But they are pulling out the works. I also wondered, because on a previous search, I know that they did drones with infrared, or night vision or something. I think, no, infrared. And so I wonder if in the evening or closer to night, if they could just take a drone out and fly it. This is a massive search. Now, here's some other interesting things before we get to the TikTok. And there's a really good timeline too that I want to share with you guys as well. I'll put the link to reference it. But let's start from number 1. A lot of people are asking about the Mustang. Okay, we've all been talking about this in Brian Laundrie's driveway. Police took something out of it on Friday. You guys remember? Thank you, Fairley, for the super chat. You guys remember where this guy put something in his pocket? I pulled up the video here. Is it this one or this one? Oh.
I should mention that this is
So you guys remember the search, right? The Mustang. It was
a family vehicle
brief.
that we see the officers going into right now. This car has been parked in the driveway for the past 2 days. You can see they are opening the trunk of this vehicle right now. One of the meters in the trunk looking through this vehicle.
So he goes in with his hands empty, right? And he comes out. And we believe right there he has a phone he puts in his pocket. So I don't know if that was his own personal phone. It seems like something they took from the car. And so that's, I believe, what Brian is, the reporter, referencing here. We got into town Tuesday and the Mustang was not there. This is video from 7 p.m. Tuesday when the dad was leaving. No Mustang. So check it out. And it kind of just makes you wonder, are the parents helping? Are they involved? Or are they just, they're protecting their kid? Bellhorse says, thank you for the super chat. Why did Brian's parents pick up his car from Carlton Preserve on Wednesday? It is not being reported they did so. I heard that too, and I don't know why. We're gonna do calls in a second.
Sir? Excuse me, sir? Sir?
They ain't stopping. And then on Wednesday, so Tuesday, the Mustang's gone. Wednesday, the Mustang is back. I just kind of wanted to point this out for the people that haven't seen this. I just thought it was kind of interesting. The whole Mustang gate. I don't know. Police have not talked about the Mustang. I asked them this morning to confirm whether or not it is Brian's car. I know police took items from the car because I saw them do it Friday night. Also, the paper bags, for anybody that's missed it, the paper bags that they went in for was to get Brian's clothes for the search because they are using bloodhounds. Can't talk right. The other thing too, really quickly, that I saw, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. Oh, there was this footage too, which I'm going to play it in a second. I don't know what the point of that was, but okay. This was September 18. I thought this was kind of interesting too. Brian says, despite other reports, Northport police tell me they do not have both Gabby and Brian's cell phones. I heard that they are triangulating it or doing whatever it is they need to do. But according to this reporter, he says they do not have it. and this is the really well put together timeline. I noticed one thing here: the Fairfield Inn, that was August 24th. She has it as 25th. You guys, one of the last reported sightings of Gabby, one of them, because there's also an Idaho one. But this was August 24th. Okay. Fox 13 News has confirmed the hotel where missing woman Gabby Petito was last seen August 24th in Fairfield Inn Suites near the Salt Lake City International Airport, which I believe maybe she was there waiting for Brian to come back. I don't know if this is around the time that he flew. When does Brian start his trip? Okay. August 17, Gabby's mother states in an interview that Brian had flown back to Florida mid-trip to help his father move his and Gabby's belongings into storage unit. And I believe in what I heard was because of the fight. Supposedly he was flying back to move her out or something. His and Gabby's belongings. I heard it was Gabby's belongings, but I don't know which is what. It's like there's so many details and so many changing things. Who knows what's what anymore? Gabby's mother states that she wonders why it was necessary to move Gabby's things during their road trip and what became of her stuff. This trip allegedly occurred between the 17th and the 23rd. During this time, it is said that Gabby was staying at the Fairfield Inn, near the airport that Brian likely flew out of. So I believe he flew out of there and he came back. I don't know when. Maybe she was waiting for him. I've heard a lot of different reports that supposedly she can't drive or something like that, or she has, I don't know what it is, why she doesn't like to drive. The other thing too, this is just really quickly, I'm just kind of flying through this stuff so we can get to some calls, and then I'll just pull up whatever I can pull up while we wait. But this was another supposed reported sighting. The news comes as business owner claimed Gabby Petito and her fiance Brian Laundrie spent nearly 20 minutes at her store in Idaho on either August 25th or August 26th. They told me they were traveling from Florida. They had just been to Teton Park, and they said that they were interested in going to Yellowstone. And I told them they could go to the west entrance. The owner of Rustic Row in Victor told East Idaho News. So a supposed other sighting. I mean, it would be nice to have a more specific date, 25 or 26. Okay, let's get to the TikTok situation, okay? We're flying through. Okay, so you guys remember Miranda Baker, okay? She made some new updates. I might show you the two updates. But the mother says here, and this is from the Facebook group, Gabby Petito Theories and Discussions. It says here, Gabby's mother told Mail Online that she is not entertaining a TikTok video that's been widely circulated in which a young woman describes picking up a man she believed to be Brian on the 29th. She says that the timeline is way off. Maybe she thought it was him, but I just know the timeline is off. The van left there the night of the 27th or early on the 28th. The van was in Florida on the 1st. It is not possible for it to have been there on the 29th. Now, I saw a lot of people talk about this in the group, and I kind of agree that, first of all, in August, there is 31 days. Okay. So he would have the 30th and the 31st. That's even if he drew that van back, because I saw a lot of people talking. I was wondering, like, did he even come back? Is he even in Florida? Did this guy even come back to Florida? You know what I'm saying? Did he have help? Did somebody help him? Did one of his parents drive the car back? I don't know. Okay. But supposedly too, it's like a 35-hour drive, I think. 30. I've heard different timings. I haven't looked it up myself. 30-something plus hours to drive from there to Florida. So I don't know. It says edit here too. Gabby's mom didn't say the girl's lying, just that she may think someone else, that she saw someone else instead of Brian. So I don't know. Let's check out Gabby again.
This is gonna be
this is a newer updated video.
Last video. I've said everything I need.
And thank you, Terry Oliver. She says the case is insane. I'm upset about how messed up her van was when they stopped in Utah. I noticed that too. I need to know about the Mustang and about Gabby's belongings.
Need to say and what happened during my encounter with Brian.
42 hours?
I just want to make one last video with everything in it because I know people are going out there to help search for her. So I just want all the maps and the facts and in one place. Okay, this is the text I sent my mom when we dropped him off. This just has like the date in it and the timestamp. So we dropped him off at 6:09. But as you can see, we picked him up at 5:54. This is off my mom's because my texts don't go back this far. And then, you know, it says we dropped him off at 6:09. So this is where we picked him up. We picked him up in Coulter Bay and we dropped him off by this dam. He was hitchhiking. There was no van. Gabby was not with him. It was just him. So this is what the dam looked like. We dropped him off at the turnout because this is going south. If you're going like this, he then said, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna hitchhike, find a different ride. He said he was gonna go across to the parking lot over here, which was filled with a bunch of people. Again, this is on August 29th at 6:09. So this is a map of Grand Teton National Park. During our ride, he said, well, before he got in the car, he said I wanted to go to Jackson. So this is Jackson, like right there. You can see it says Jackson, south of the park, right? Jackson Hole is commonly referred to as well. So I said, you know what? We're going to Jackson, hop in. You know, he was very nice. He offered us $200 to give him this ride. And we picked him up. You can see here, Coulter Bay right there. It's like pretty north of the park. And he said he was hiking along Snake River, which is up here, and it kind of like goes down a little bit. And he said he was gone for multiple days, and he had left his fiance, never called her by her name, back at their campsite, which he said they camped in a dispersed campsite, so it's not a regulated campsite. And he was gone for multiple days without her, and he was sleeping on a tarp. When we picked him up, he had a backpack, long sleeves.
What do you guys say? You believe her or you don't believe her? I find her to be kind of like credible. I think she's telling the truth. I don't know. I mean, with the text messages, the mapping and everything, you know, I mean, definitely the video here is for real. Those one that this couple put together when they were editing.
A hat on and scruff. He wasn't clean shaved and he had hiking boots on, but he didn't look dirty. The only thing dirty about him were his shoes. And he was very nice during the trip, you know, very calm. We were making small talk. He was agitated when I said Jackson Hole, okay? So we were going south to Jackson. There's no other place in the Tetons called Jackson. Why he became agitated, I don't know. He just was very set on getting out of the car, which is why we pulled out by the dam, and that's why he got out. I don't know why he wanted to get out so bad. I don't know what other place he wanted to go to because there's only one Jackson. So that's all I have, and I hope she's returned safely and they find her safe. I just wanted to... This is going to be my last video.
She did one more video. I'm going to play that. There was an article that came out, and we're going to do calls in a second because I really just kind of wanted to jump to calls. To me, there hasn't been too many updates. Like the sightings have come up. This is the second day they're searching in that park. Some people believe he's not in that park at all. I'm kind of wondering if he really is there and how far would he have gone in that park. And
I just wanted to add, I have talked to the cops. I've talked to the FBI. The information that I am putting out there, they already know. So I have already done that. If this jogs anyone's memory, please don't hesitate to reach out. I first, heard about this on TikTok a few days ago, which is why I'm putting this out on TikTok to hopefully reach out to someone who had also might have seen him that day and, picked him up before or after we did. And I'm just really hoping that this helps find Gabby and bring her home safe. I just wanted to add,
all right, what do you guys think about,
like I had done.
This guy did a new video, right? This guy, TV Chef Hunter Lee. I did this video yesterday. He did another one today. Okay, so we're going to watch the new one and I'm going to open up the lines too. This guy to me was a little bit harder to believe. I mean, I don't think he's lying. I don't see that he's lying. I don't find he was very responsive. I don't know that he's lying or not. I think Miranda sounds more credible just because of all what she was saying in the conversation. But maybe I'll do a poll for that too. Let me open up do the lines real quick. I think now it's just to the point. of search. Just search.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show or meeting number.
Do that.
Enter your 6-digit PIN number.
I did that right. Yeah.
Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface.
Okay. Let's check out this guy's new video. I'll put the number in.
Guys.
Most people believe that Miranda's telling the truth. Hey, everybody, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. All right, let's do this.
To remake my video. It seems like I had done enough TV, I would be good at this, but this is my first TikTok. This is in regards to the Brian Laundrie and Gabby, the missing girl. I had taken a trip the end of August from Louisiana up through Colorado and Montana and Wyoming. I picked a friend up at the Jackson Hole Airport on August 26th, Thursday, that morning. And we went through Jackson Hole. Then we went through the Tetons and Yellowstone. We came out the West Gate, and we stayed at West Yellowstone, Montana for the evening. We went out to a restaurant that night called Bullwinkle's, and about 10 o'clock we moved into the bar. There was us and another couple that we had met while we were eating dinner. We were discussing things, politics, guns, hunting, all the stuff you don't talk about in a bar. And there was a guy at the end of the bar that was just quiet. He was visibly bothered or mad, it looked like, when we came in. And I guess our conversation just kind of irritated that fact when he finally made a comment, something about stupid Southerners and Republicans. And I kind of laughed and said, well, where are you from? And he said that he was from New York in a pretty strong New York accent. And said his name was Brian. And I said, as we laughed, I said, you picked an odd place, the middle of nowhere, a small town in Montana. What did you expect, that you weren't going to run into any conservatives or Republicans? Anyway, not much else was said. He made a couple of remarks, and we went back to our conversation. It was just a creepy encounter.
What do you think about this guy?
It was one of those situations.
Oh, a big misconception, too. I'll clear it up, and I'm going to take the calls because there's a couple of people calling. Brian is from New York. His family is from New York. Mother, father, sister are born there. Brian, when I look up his info, it's a little bit weird. What's Brian's age? I saw a mix of different people putting different numbers of Brian's age. I don't even know how old this guy is. But they are from New York, and they moved to Florida, and so is Gabby.
Situations where it was kind of one of those people, it was almost like he looked through you. I didn't notice him using a phone, things that the FBI have asked. We did notice that he had a backpack. Okay. We left about 11:50, and he was still there. My friend was
at 45.
Visibly uncomfortable. She even made a comment on the way to the car about serial killers and kept watching behind us to make sure he wasn't following us. And I assured her that it wasn't an issue. I mean, I'm concealed carry. I was actually armed when we were in the bar. And we went to the hotel. We did talk about it on the way home. It was odd. In the last few days, though, we've watched the news and realized that was the guy. That was Brian, this girl's fiance. So we contacted the FBI. Both of us made reports to the FBI. And just kind of watching
that was it. Let me get to the calls now. 646, how you doing? Where are you calling from? Who's this?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. How you doing?
Hey, how are you? So yeah, just a few things that I heard. One of the stuff was that video where they spotted the white van. You can check for yourself, but at like 1 minute and 43 seconds, all the way on the left-hand side, like between the two bushes, there seems to be some sort of figure out in the field.
Right.
People are saying first, I know that you saw it in your comments. I can't really say as to what it is, but it's like you'll see it right in between the two bushes. It's like next to a wall, like a very, very, very short wall. That's the first thing. I have no idea what that is, but I know people are saying, I sent it to the FBI because I was able to look at the resolution and it seemed like a person, and it is close to the van, so it is a bit strange. And And then another thing is that with
did you
the
notice
whole
on the floor too, behind
yeah.
the van? I think people pointed out. It looks like there's something there. I know people took, like, kind of highlighted it. It looks like there's something on the floor.
I mean, there could be
sandals or something behind it. I don't know. But go ahead. Yeah. What else were you gonna say?
So also, another thing that I heard is about some sort of store owner. He had said, which is actually kind of interesting. This is before the whole hitchhiker thing on August 29th.
Right.
But they said something about basically a few days before the both of them had gone into the store, and he had said that they seemed happy and that they were talking about their plans for the rest of the trip. And just to make it clear, this is a few days before the hitchhike, maybe like the 26th or the 27th of August. You can look it up just to make sure. But he did say that they did seem happy, which to me seems kind of interesting.
Right. I did read that somewhere.
But yeah, I mean, that whole TikToker thing, she does seem like she's telling the truth. I mean, for her to get it wrong and like the mom's claiming like maybe look it was someone else. I mean, we have so many videos, like the body cam footage of what Brian looks like. I'd be very surprised if she got it wrong, you know, considering the amount of stuff that we have of him.
Right,
and then all that she was saying that, you know, his face, you know, he had maybe like a little bit of a beard or facial hair. And then if you look at, you know, they have the YouTube channel of like 4 weeks of like their trip, like a compilation of various moments throughout the trip. You can actually see him having a little bit of facial hair and then shaving it off when you look at the body cam footage. So I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe he shaved it off and he wasn't given the opportunity to be able to shave it. But I mean, that's also something that does make it clear. But I mean, you would have to really not look at any footage of Brian to be able to say that you can confuse him with someone else. And she did say that he did claim that he had a fiance. So I would be surprised if he did something to her, considering the fact that he didn't even mention they had a fiance when he was alone, when he got picked up. And, you know, why would he mention that? So, yeah, I mean, I think the whole thing is really, really strange. I heard various claims that could be a staged event, you know, like
I heard about that too. People are thinking that, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
How nuts would that be? They would definitely be charged, though, right?
This isn't the first time people have done that. I think that it got blown out of proportion, like to a significant amount, and now they maybe have no idea as to what to do with the situation. And I mean, he goes running, and then she's gone. I mean, there's so many things that could have happened.
And there's people that kind of believe Brian, like maybe he didn't have some. There's a couple of people out there I've seen that like I don't know. Most people believe, you know, he knows more. Obviously, knows more than he's telling. And there's a couple of people I've seen. Some people kind of like, you know, sticking up for him.
Yeah. So
maybe
one more thing I want to say before is that basically I know that there were various claims that there was also someone who looked like him that was hiking or something like that in Florida. I mean, there was like this image.
Is it the image where somebody was driving by and they saw him? Or is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's like he had like sunglasses.
Yes.
That.
Do you think we should talk about that? Do you think that was him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. You know, the resolution it makes it hard.
It's hard to tell. You know, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I watched another TikTok video. And this girl, I think she was also on TikTok. She looked at the video, the body cam footage, like twice, like two times, very thoroughly. And she's able to make a lot of observations, like that he may have narcissistic personality disorder, like because the fact that he, you know, first thing he asks is, like, one of the things he says is, you know, she's crazy, as a joking way, you know. He was just joking around, but basically saying that she was crazy. And then, yes, I hope that she's not saying anything strange about me.
Right.
And that she's also taking a lot of responsibility. Okay, it's all my fault. It's all this, it's all that.
Right.
He even says in the video, you know, I don't have a phone. All right, I don't have a phone. And then later on in the video, he actually gives his phone number. He contradicted
himself. Yes.
And you know, it's like he's trying to seem like a good guy. You know, like trying to make laughs, trying to seem casual. Right. Another thing is that he also said he had his keys in the pocket, but later on claimed that he got those scratches on his face from when she scratched them with the keys. So the thing is that even she claimed that she didn't grab the steering wheel. So she's just taking a lot of self-responsibility, you know, not really taking the blame for everything. But one thing that does make me wonder is that there is one instance in the body cam footage where he says something like, am I like, can I be arrested? Like, I wasn't sure if he was saying, can I be arrested instead? Like, you know, instead of her getting arrested, that I would be arrested, or he's wondering if he can also be held responsible or arrested as well as her. Right. You know, kind of being fearful if he's going to be held responsible or maybe taking her spot. So the thing is that a lot of...
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
There's a bunch of people... No, thanks.
You
brought really good points. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right, take care.
I really hope that she gets found and everything goes well.
Man.
All right, have a good one, man.
You too. Bye. So I might have to stick to like 3-minute calls or something because there's several people. So let me move on to the next one. 585. But that was a great call. Thank you, man. 585. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, brother? Rochester, New York.
Hey, thanks. And by the way, everybody, if you could hit like, please, if you wouldn't mind, I'd appreciate it. It helps the video get out. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, just about to like your channel. First time watching, actually. Really good job.
Welcome.
Yeah, I'd say one of the major things in this whole thing is they got to get a hold of phone records and get a hold of who was using the phone from the 25th to the 30th and really dig into what happened. If the mom, I mean, moms know best. If the mom is saying she does not think that that was her, I think that's a major point to this case. And I do believe the first TikTok girl.
I believe her too. I believe she's credible, man. And police confirmed they were talking to her. Like, they confirmed she actually did reach out. Police said, yes, we are talking to her. They say her story is possibly credible. You know, that's in the article that I read.
Yeah, and I see a lot of misinformation out there about, you know, oh, it's TikTok. And it's like, you know, is Twitter that much better? Or is Facebook that much better?
Right.
Anybody that's genuine trying to help, the FBI is going to vet all of this stuff, so we're going to know if they're lying or not.
Right. And I know that there's psychics too getting involved too. I got a message this morning. I know they're kind of busy too. I'm particularly not too much for that, but I know there's a whole big community of that and follow people that are into that.
Yeah, I know you quickly said it, but I do think there is something to, did this guy actually come back to Florida? Or if he did he stay there for long enough? Because he would have known that he had to get out of there pretty quick. Obviously his lawyer knows where he is. His parents know. His parents might not know where he is, but his lawyer definitely does.
Right.
I just don't see him. I mean, he might be that dumb, but I think he wanted to leave the van, but was spotted by people like this, like the TikTok girl and other people, had to take the van, had to find a way to get it back, and then just didn't have an actual factual story to tell anybody, and that's why he's now, I'm not going to say missing, that's why he's hiding now.
Right. Well, thanks, man. It seems like, I wonder if there's more for effort being done to find Brian than to find Gabby. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I believe they have different resources too in Wyoming compared to Florida, you know, but.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, they have to nail down the last location of her. And I'm sure there's many resources going out, but it does seem like they're putting in all the effort they can in that area of Florida to find him. But I don't think he's there.
I agree with you, Ubafly. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate your call, dude. Thank you, man, for watching everything.
Yeah, keep up the great work.
You too. Thanks. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna limit the calls to 3 minutes. He did about 3 minutes because there's a lot of people calling. So let's keep it moving. 615, how you doing? Where you calling from? And by the way, this is an overview of the park. They're searching I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it, Makayakachi Creek Environmental Park in Northport, Florida. I mean, it's a huge, massive swampy area. I don't know that he really went out that far. Did he really hike like miles, 100 miles into the wilderness and he's just shocked up out there? I don't know. But how you doing? Who is this? 615. Welcome.
Hi, my name is I'm Tay from Nashville.
Tay, thank you. Thank you for calling.
All right, I just have a couple of things. Okay, so if he came back on the 1st and the family didn't report him to the 11th, then how did they figure out he was back on the 1st? And then I'm in agreement with the fact that I don't think he's in that area, I don't think he's ever been back. If he did come back, it was quick. They probably did a quick swap. Here's some money. Go do what you need to do. And he was gone. I don't think he's been in there for a while. And I just don't understand why the mom is holding back so much information that could possibly help find.
That's kind of weird too. I feel like the mom's lawyered up. Which maybe that's normal.
Why do you lawyer up if
Yeah, I feel like the stepfather's talking more and Gabby's father's talking more. The mother's just like lawyered
I think they're
up.
doing more searching for him than her. Like, why we haven't seen live searches of them searching for her? It's him that we're watching on TV right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's just what I'm trying to figure out is if they don't exactly know when he came back, why can't the TikToker be telling the truth? Why we've already... These people, the other people have actual video of the van, like, and that's the 27th. So it wouldn't. It's impossible for him to drive back that fast. So I'm thinking he came back way after the first, and then he was gone. That's just my opinion. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, let me take next caller. Holy crap, the lines are like really packed. 406, how you doing? Where are you calling from? 406, did I take you? Oh yeah, 406, can you hear me? I'm gonna return you to the queue then if you don't pick up. Okay, I'm gonna return you back. We'll take somebody else and I'll get back to you after. 713, how you doing? Where are you calling from?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. What's up, man?
Just saying, that lady, the last lady that called, she's right. The TikTok girl, I believe she's telling the truth. Whether who she had in the car, who knows? But the family said that he came back on the 1st. He came back, man, like on the 4th or the 5th, and then they gave him money. He got on a plane and went to Rio de Janeiro, where he's sitting right now. And by the time the police got to the airport to say, hey, look for this guy, don't let this guy leave the country, he was already gone. Now think about this. Everybody's saying he's pleading the 5th. Well, he's got a constitutional right to plead the 5th. You don't plead the 5th until they place you under arrest. Then they read you your Miranda laws. And the first line of the Miranda laws is you have a right to remain silent. Think about it. If Columbo comes up and asks you about a murder and you say, I plead the 5th, Columbo's going to look away and go, that guy did it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's true.
And then let me say something else is that, God, I lost my train. Oh, he got pulled over. He was doing a 45 and a 15. And then he hit the curb. Why didn't they give him a ticket? Not that that would have changed the outcome or anything, but if that would have been you or me, I'd have gotten a ticket, you know? And let me think.
It was very weird. They didn't get no speeding ticket. They were let off on the domestic thing. She got coached out of getting out of that situation. I mean, it was just kind of weird, the whole... I mean, and they got him right there on the spot. They got him the Safe Haven hotel thing. I was like, wow, that's some pretty amazing service.
And kind of left her off her own in a weird place where two girls were just murdered. That's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying those police didn't do their job. I'm not going to try and, I'm not a police. I don't know nothing about police, but I know it don't sound right. And then also your last caller, she said, why aren't they searching for her? With all due respect, I'm the same frustrated person, but they really don't know where she could be in Idaho, Utah, Colorado. They don't know where to even start. At least they knew where to start for him. Those parents are the ones that should be a little bit more responsible. Am I right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
And then my last thing is about the Bethune video, Red, White, and Bethune.
Yes.
Again, with all due respect, if you'll put up that Bethune video and let it play, and you'll see at 1:49, if you slow it down, just before they get to the van, the video cuts out. It goes fast real forward. I mean, it's odd. Why is it doing that? And then also, one more thing. The other two hikers, the two girls, the married couple that were found, they were shot. And that's kind of odd. I don't think they had a gun, on them. But I feel sorry for these people and what's going on up there. How can just people just disappear? Nobody's even looking for those girls that got murdered. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to be talking about this, but this is just the position that we're in.
And Crystal Turner, yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to say this, but please excuse me, but I'm going to tell the facts. They were found, and their clothes had been ripped off of them. They were naked from the waist down. One girl had her breasts exposed. Excuse me for saying that.
No, it's true. That's insane. Yeah.
It's weird, you know? And why ain't they doing a search looking for the guy that did that? Because they reported there's a weird guy around their campsite.
Right.
It's just all too strange, bro.
And
hey, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate the call, man. Appreciate that. Take care, bro.
Yeah, keep up the good work, man.
Thanks, man. All right. That was a good call. He made some good points. Yeah, the Kylene Schulte, I have a video coming up for that. Next caller, Anonymous. Block call. How you doing? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Oregon, Oregon.
Hi, how you doing? What's your thoughts on everything? All the insanity.
I've got a few thoughts. Firstly, the bar encounter story is just based around political rhetoric. He wants to start some sort of gun control. The Rustic Row shop owner, if she actually knew and saw Gabby on that date, she would have an exact time. But she doesn't. It seems like it's just to get traffic. And with
I didn't think about that. It's possible.
She mentions how Brian says he was camping for multiple days while Gabby was at the van working on social media. They also said that he was mentioning hiking along Snake River, and nobody is talking about Snake River.
Right.
Why was he along that?
Let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, Snake River.
So, thank you.
Well, thank you, man. Appreciate the call. Oh,
we gotta remember.
Sorry, guys. All right, I'm gonna keep rolling the call since there's like a bunch of people. Let me try 406 again one more time. 406, are you there?
I'm here, Mel. How are you, honey?
Good. Who's this?
Hey, it's your buddy Angela.
Angela, hey, welcome. And you're in Wyoming. What can you tell me about
I
the
am.
story and this whole area? Are you even close to this area? How far is this area from you?
This area is about 3.5 hours from me.
Okay.
I live about 98 minutes from the east gate of Yellowstone. So Yellowstone is north of Grand Teton.
Okay.
I'm more in the north central. This is over on the western part.
Okay.
It's very remote. It's very vast. Mountains. You have bear, elk, deer, moose, antelope, wolves, all of that in that area. Badger, wolverine. So your wildlife element is great. Your environmental aspect of it is not for the faint of heart. It's not just like anybody should, no Joe Schmo should just be going and doing this. The cell service is very poor, and it's better than what it was 10 years ago, but it's still very limited. Okay, a couple of things that I've heard some people say, and from where I stand, you know that I have some pretty good resources. We have never been able to verify that he actually flew home.
Okay.
We've never found it anywhere.
Okay.
So that we've never found that he's flown home. And everybody needs to understand that Jackson and Jackson Hole are the same place.
Jackson
Locals
and Jackson
call
Hole.
it Jackson.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a town, right? I see here it's like a town.
Yes, it's a town of about 8,000 people.
Okay.
And I will tell you right now, when I was growing up, the millionaires ran the town. The billionaires have run the millionaires out of Jackson. A lot of money over in that area. It's Wyoming's version of Aspen or Telluride.
Oh.
There's a lot of, the billionaires have run the millionaires out. You can't just, there's a housing crisis in Jackson. So Jackson and Jackson Hole are the same exact place.
Okay. And the Snake River, it runs all the way along from up in Grand Teton to Jackson?
Continental Divide.
Okay.
Yes, the Continental Divide comes into play on this.
Okay.
Any body of water that's on the west side of the Tetons, everything flows to the Pacific Ocean. Okay. All of that interconnects. Those lakes feed the Snake River, which in tail flows south.
Okay. Oh, it flows south, right. Okay.
So Jenny Lake goes into String Lake. String Lake empties into the Snake River, and it all goes south. down into the Star River or the Snake River Valley, which is Star Valley, Afton, Smoot. It's all south of Jackson. It's what you drive up from Moab, Ogden.
Okay. So what else are your thoughts on the story?
Well, obviously they're putting a lot of work into Florida and a lot of resources into Florida to find this guy.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't that important, why would they be looking for him?
Right.
Into Florida to find this guy.
There's got to be more. I know
if it wasn't that important, why would they be looking for him?
Right. Oop.
Are you there?
Yeah, I hear. Sorry, I had a sound
there?
thing. Yeah, I'm here.
It's okay. There, and then the second TikToker, I can believe Miranda. I cannot believe the guy.
The guy with the bar situation.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Gabby and Brian didn't drink.
Right. The guy was responding to comments, and people were asking in the comments, like, but they say he doesn't drink. The guy responded saying he had a drink there, but he doesn't know if it was alcoholic or non-alcoholic. I have a friend that goes to bars too in Texas, and he goes to bars, but he doesn't drink alcohol. He just gets like a regular drink and sits down. So I don't know.
And Brian didn't also have a thick New York accent.
I don't believe he does either. I mean, some people say he does.
Listening to him in those videos, I didn't think it was that thick. But here's the other thing: what's every potential that this guy did meet a guy named Brian from New York with a thick accent? It's not just. It's just not this Brian.
Right.
I'm not calling him. I'm not the things that he says just don't fit.
Right.
So I'm not saying that he didn't meet a guy named Brian. I'm just saying I don't think it's our Brian. Now, about the shoes, about that van, you can actually zoom in and you can see your flip-flops.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can pull up an image. I know people have sent the image of the zoomed-in image. I'll check the Facebook group. I don't think I can zoom in like right here, but I'll do it.
No, but you can see flip-flops, and that would be very indicative of taking your flip-flops off before entering in the van. Or if you're going hiking, you would sit on the bumper of the van to put your hiking shoes on, leaving your flip-flops there, because as soon as you return, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to sit back down, take your hiking boots off, and put your camp shoes on.
All right, Angela, thanks. I'm sorry because the lines are full.
No, dude.
So thank you so much.
I know they are, and I wanted to give you a little bits of things that I had picked up here and there.
Okay.
Way to go on this, dude. I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
You know that if you have any questions, concerns, you can reach out.
Yeah, for sure.
And way to keep the spotlight on this, buddy. I'm really proud of you for it. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. Okay, next one. I'm sorry. We're sticking to 3 minutes. I know her, but we're sticking to 3 minutes. 732, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Hi, this is Leanne. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Hi.
Hi, iCkEdMeL. I'm actually in Newark right now, but I live in Raleigh. I actually think that Brian got into that girl's car for some sort of alibi or timeline. Because, listen, if she said she was going to Jackson, he wasn't thinking Jackson, Florida. You know what I mean? There's only one Jackson, and I think he just needed a reason to get out. And the $200 offer was kind of strange to me. I just think that was some kind of alibi, like, hey, I'm not with her and I'm hitchhiking back home, that kind of thing. And I'm so aggravated with the sheriff because supposedly on Tuesday he had his eyes on Brian, and now you took your eyes off of him and you don't know where he is when everybody should have been watching this kid. He's the last known person to be with her. I don't want to be mean, but, I hope he's hanging from a tree with a note attached where she is. And I'm sorry, but his parents are so dead wrong. And it's either one of two things. They know where he is and helped him get away, or he left a note and because they said that they're concerned about his mental well-being and he's going to off himself, that that whole thing with the parents, that's karma. Now you know how it feels not to know where your kid is, and I hope they find them. And, not for nothing, I'd rather him go to jail and, be locked up with a smelly man 2 feet, near him than, die and not deal with anything at all. And this poor girl is somewhere, and I just feel so bad for her parents. And I hope they find them, and I hope they get a new sheriff.
Yeah, I mean, all right,
ridiculous.
Thanks. Appreciate the call.
Right,
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
That guy made a good point about the call, about the search, and I'm gonna get to the calls real quick. But they don't really have a real. Besides the Denver FBI that put out that Spread Creek area. They don't really have a specific area. With Brian, they have a specific area, but it's based off of what the parents said, which is kind of like suspicious, man. 618. How you doing? Where are you calling from?
This is Walter from St. Louis.
Hey, Walter. Welcome.
Hey, couple notes. So in June, I drove from Yellowstone down through Grand Teton. I had to make it down to Baton Rouge, which is in the general area of Florida, right? And I was trying to leave early. I left in the middle of the night because they were closing the roads due to snow. This was June 1st, so it's not like down in the flat. I live in Illinois, essentially. It's cold up there at night. And it was about a 40-mile drive down to Jackson Dam, and all I got is the GPS. I've never been there before. I had about 4 cars past me. When I got out of Yellowstone and right into Grand Teton, there was no gate guard or anything. I went right on through at about 2 a.m. Now, that's probably because it was still considered off-season. But I thought I would at least mention that. And then her, what's her name, Miranda Baker, I believe she probably did have somebody in the car. It probably was this Brian Laundrie, but if he got agitated, it may be that they missed, if he's going to his dispersed campsite based on the map and they're headed south past it, it's like that was his turnoff. He wanted to get out and he didn't realize it, because it seemed like, for me, only going through there once, everything was named Jackson. There's Jackson Dam.
Right.
She's having to tell us if Jackson Hole and Jackson are the same. And at 3 a.m. in the morning, it's very disorienting, especially, you don't even know where you're at and you're tired and whatnot. The other thing I wanted to mention is the cell service is very spotty up there. I have AT&T towers I use, and it would come and go. And the haul to Baton Rouge from there, which isn't even Florida yet, that was a haul. I had to get down there pretty quick. My wife was having some car problems. And I drove almost straight through, and it was a bear for me to do that. So I don't know if the guy could do it in 72 hours or not, probably, but he's younger than me. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention those few facts that, at least from my perspective, it's really desolate up there too. There's not much until you get into town. There's not much there. Like I said, I only had like 4 cars pass me in 45 miles. So. And that's the only road in that area. So
Thank you, man. Thanks for that input. I appreciate it.
All right.
Take care. Bye. Good call. Give us a little bit of the area. 215. How you doing? Where are you calling from?
Hi. My name is Michelle. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Hi. Welcome, Michelle.
So I just have a question. So with the people on TikTok, right? Like I tend to believe the girl definitely more than the guy. But then my thing is if they spoke with the FBI, don't you think the FBI would have maybe advised them to not go public with it? Or that was just my thought.
I would think so too, maybe.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of confused, because I'm like, these people are putting out all this information, but if you spoke with the FBI, I just feel like, I don't know, like they would have just advised them not to go public or something. I don't know. It just seems odd, but I don't know. I definitely believe the girl more than the guy. The guy just kind of seems, I don't know. That story just doesn't, seem true to me anyway. And then the last thing was with the body cam footage. I don't know. To me, that was disturbing, because a few things that pointed out to me was, if you notice, a few times when the cop, asked him, Brian, what was going on, he almost kept saying, oh, well, what did she say? almost
he
like
was wondering about
insinuating
what she was saying. Yeah, like he was kind of
right, like what typical
about that.
abusers, right, will do. Like, oh, well, I want to know what she said first before I say, what I say. So that just kind of seemed a little odd to me. Yeah, but that's it. I was just wondering about the FBI, and then just wanted to point that out. That whole dash cam footage was really disturbing to watch, to be honest. And I was shocked, too, that, I understand not wanting to ruin a girl's life, especially if they feel something in their gut isn't, right. But, yeah, the way they got off and just, nobody did anything, that was really odd to me, too. But, yeah, that's all I had to say.
Thank you. Appreciate the call.
So, thank you.
Thanks for calling. And there's a lot of calls, so I'm going to keep it moving. I have thoughts. I've heard people talk about the police, and people had police theories too, because he knew where she was going to be at and he was going to be at. And also, really quickly, just want to say thanks for the super chats. I kind of, because of all the calls, but just thank you to Known Terrestrial, Fairly, Burge, Ragamuffin, Bellhorse, Terry, Jenna, Ragamuffin, John, Lisa, and Vic. I slowed down the chat a little bit for people. Known said, "You're my go-to for like this. Thank you for your coverage. I'm all over the place." Why did Brian's parents pick up? Oh, we read that. His car from the Carlton Preserve on Wednesday. It is now being reported they did so. I think he may hurt himself. Some people think he may hurt himself. Some people think that he may not. People believe like he's a narcissist. He wouldn't hurt himself. Look underneath the van as they go by. There's movement under there. Somebody said Ragamuffin. I'll take a look. Lisa said, love your show. And Vic said, slow the chat. Okay, so let's get some more calls. And you know what I saw on CNN? I'm going to take the next one. CNN was talking about, they were saying that, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they already pitched the Netflix movie or series or something. This is probably going to be, I don't know what the outcome is, but they're saying like this story has just gotten so big. It's blown up. It's everywhere. I'm not the only person. Everybody's, covering it. The news 24/7. There's people parked out there 24/7. This massive search. Wouldn't be surprised if one day it's in some sort of like movie or something. I don't know. 316. How you doing? Where you calling from? And it's a very serious situation for these parents. But we don't know what happened. We don't even know if is their dad alive? Anything. 816. Oh, sorry, 316. 316. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Yeah, you there?
Yes, sir.
This is Sean. I'm from Kansas. I want to be careful here in short so everybody else can get a chance to talk. I've definitely got, my own opinions and I don't want to paint any pictures, that aren't there. But one thing I was actually kind of noticing when I watched some of the news coverage is I know that obviously she was a YouTuber and a lot of YouTubers and I'm not a YouTuber myself, but I actually have what I noticed they have was a drone, and that kind of intrigued me. And so, and it was also ironic because in one of the still pictures that they had flashed a picture of Gabby, because I was curious. I was like, oh, I wonder what kind of drone she has. And I'll tell you why in just a second. And then ironically, there was a photo of her that was holding up the drone in a picture. And I just thought that was odd that with the theory that I have, it was a DJI drone, a foldable. And
I've heard of those. Yeah.
Those drones, and I don't know whether this has been brought up before, and if it has, I apologize for the redundancy, but one thing I know about those drones from owning one is that they use multiple satellite link for GPS to boost the radio signal for the distance, and also so that you can track your flights and times and logs and distances and everything else. And so what I'm hoping, and I'm sure, the FBI's got technological experience beyond my beliefs, but what I'm wondering is there a possibility, since they can't find the phones and they don't know where those are, is there a possibility that they might be able to utilize the technology to pinpoint locations with the drone? And the reason why I say that might be a possibility is I know that for a while it was a really hot button topic with the national security here in the United States, that they were alluding to the fact that maybe the Chinese were kind of using those drones to spy on the states here in America and stuff like that. Well, like I said, if it's linked to a satellite, it's able to track its own location. Is that a tool they might be able to use? Granted, if it had power to it, regardless if it was on or not,
Right.
Is that a possibility? Is that something they're looking at? You know,
that's a good question.
Is that and not to get too cryptic, but say, and this is really, I'm going to try to make it as family friendly to say as possible, but you know, in the worst case scenario, let's say it was a nefarious situation, you know, is there a small, really thin possibility that someone might use that to spot a location to do different things while they're out there? You know, and I want to say that as friendly as I can, but, you know, I mean, he also had a vehicle say that, you know, he is responsible maybe potentially for her death and wanted to cover it up. One, he's got the perfect vehicle to transport with, and you know, in a long shot, he's also got something at his disposal. Obviously it's still with them. It was part of their kit, their equipment for filming,
right?
To use that to his advantage to scout locations to maybe, you know, cover things up too. But the main point I wanted to make, and I'll just cut it off there, was: is there a technological advantage with that drone? Is there a small possibility that might be able to be, because they're all serial numbered as well? So with the computing power, I'm sure the FBI has, is that a possibility they might use that to be able to triangulate some positions? So,
all right.
But I like what you're doing. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate the call.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. I didn't even know those devices have GPS on there. If that's something they could look into, or they have or not. It makes sense though. 727. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Chad from Florida.
Hi, Chad. Welcome, Florida.
Hey. Oh, great. I have a lot to say. That last caller was pretty good about the drone thing. All right. So my first theory is this: it's a hoax, like the boy in the balloon hiding in the attic, right? Just hear me out on this. No one gets in trouble at all, because neither one of them are saying anything. Gabby's not around right now. Even Brian came back, didn't say nothing. They're both adults. The only thing that's wigging out right now is the parents. Where are my kids? You know, and then if they get found 3 weeks down the road, they don't have to pay back for searches or anything, because it was just parents worried about some adults. If it was a minor, totally different story.
Could they be charged for that?
I mean,
could they be charged? If it was
no charges, no nothing. That's why
there has to be something. No, you don't think so?
No, they're adults. Neither one of them has said anything. So they're, you know, he can only get charged for stealing the car if Gabby says, I didn't give him permission. He can only get charged for saying, she's missing, we got to go find her, let's send all these resources out there. He can get in trouble for that. But he's not saying that. He's not saying she's lost or anything. And they're not really lost, because they're adults. It's just the parents that are, you know, if it's minors, it's a total different story. But that's why legally they couldn't do nothing. That's why legally they didn't put a tap on them. They weren't following them 24/7, because they're adults. They're allowed to do that. And if neither one of them say anything, they can never be charged for a crime at all if it's all a hoax in the end. They get money, they get fame, they get a book deal, a movie deal. Everybody's happy. I mean, sure, they might be the most hated people in the world, but someone's going to pay millions of dollars for that. What do you care? And now,
go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead. Yeah.
I just want to get that out there. It's just one of the theories, and like I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, they didn't get in trouble," so that's why I threw it out there. There's no laws that they're breaking at this point, as long as neither one of them say anything. You know, the parents can say whatever they want. Anyone else can say whatever they want, but as long as them two don't say anything, they can't get in trouble by the law legally. Anyways, so my main theory is that after watching the social media stuff for her and him, and the cop cam video of everything, let me just say this before I get into that. Those two cops, they were so inappropriate, and most of the stuff that they were doing and saying, I found that, they were inappropriate.
A friend of mine thought he was almost kind of flirtatious. I don't know. The cop with the
they were very inappropriate, talking about their lives and relationships. It was inappropriate, I felt. Anyways, so my thing is, she was trying to be perfect. She OCD. She's a perfectionist. Brian was standing in the back knowing that, hey, you know, he's like, yeah, let's get this thing going with social media. Let's do van life, blah, blah. With the mental issues, they're 22, 23, one little thing, life's over, you know, especially if you have some mental issues. We're talking life, love, finances, everything caught up to them. And then they had that incident a couple of weeks before. I'm not saying, I hate to say this, but maybe she hurt herself. What is Brian going to do with that incident 2 weeks prior? He has nothing to gain by going in and saying anything, as she's already hurt herself and she's gone. Why say anything? Because you're only going to get in trouble from that point. Because with the other incident and everything going on, you're in trouble. And, plead the fifth. And I made a joke on someone else's live stream. They're like, if I was at that house, I'd be yelling this at his parents' house. And I made a joke. I'm like, if I was at that house, I would say, thank you, Brian, for, exercising your Fifth Amendment right. Kind of as a joke, but not really.
Right.
That's just where I stand. I kind of on the other side because, I believe he's psycho. When I first looked, I'm like, man, that dude's psycho, man. I'm like, I was kind of worried about her, but the more I looked into everything, the more I saw everything and listened to the cop cam. That was a big deal. And then with all the other social media, I just don't feel like, maybe life overwhelmed her and him. They both could have been overwhelmed, and it just seems like she's a little out there, and it takes a little too much to the heart. And
thanks, man.
like I said, when you're young like that,
I'm sorry I have to cut you, bro, but thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your call. Don't mean to cut you off, but yeah.
No problem. I just want to get that other point out there. Legally, they can't get in trouble because neither one of them personally has said anything.
Thank you, dude. All right, thanks, man.
Late.
Thank you. And the only reason I have to cut the call, guys, I'm sorry, because there's a lot of calls, and some people have been holding 20 minutes, 30 minutes, so I have to stick to like a 3-minute, thing. 518, how you doing? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Albany, New York.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hi. So my name is Kate.
Kate.
So I guess I just want to point out, I unfortunately have been in a relationship with a narcissist 5 years ago. Even to this day, we still live in the same. I do run into him at the grocery store, and he still can't let it go. Just my perspective on the footage I've seen from the body cam from when they got pulled over, that I think he just totally lost it, and maybe she wanted to leave, and he just couldn't stand the fact that she's going to leave and be with somebody else. Just my thoughts. So
okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you. Sorry, no problem. Yo, guys, the connection dropped, but it connected back. Let's give it a second. Okay, I think we're back. We're smooth. It dropped. 2,000 people just got thrown off the live stream, yo. But I think we're okay. Yeah, we're fine. It's stabilized. Something weird happened. We lost 3,000-4,000 people. Oh my God. But let's keep going with the calls. We're still live, man. 405. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
Good. All right. How you doing today?
All right. Good, man. Thanks for calling.
I'm calling from Oklahoma, OKC 405 area. I had just a couple ideas and thoughts. A lot of people say he ended up in Florida on the 1st of September. But, do you have a couple key witnesses that you say on TikTok that are seeing him on the 29th and also seeing him on the 25th? Mm-hmm. And you would think with the text messages on the 27th, I've heard everywhere that the last known time that Joseph Petito, which is Gabby's father, spoke to her was on the 21st, I think, of August. And then
Joe, I forget. I know the mother, she said 25th. Oh, the connection dropped.
So I know there's a couple of news reports out there that say the 24th, but her mother says the 25th. I know her father said in a news interview, in one of his interviews that he spoke to the press, that he said that the last time that he personally spoke to her was on the 21st, which is just a few days before Gabby's mom.
Right.
And, that being said, there's cell phones get pinged regardless with location on or off. I mean, that's a known factor that we all know. And with these last pings, you would think it would narrow things down to where her last location would have been in a 5-mile radius of a cell phone tower.
Right.
With those messages through.
So do you think he ever came to Florida? Do you think he was ever here?
Me personally, in my theory that I have, I want to say that he's not in Florida. I mean, what if this is just kind of going out there on a really big limb, but this is, they wanted to go social media famous. Like they were just starting everything. You know, Gabby's YouTube posted a video of, or their YouTube channel that they shared, you know, which was created back in 2013. So, you know, why did they the van life years ago before they even got in a relationship? You know, they said they rekindled the old flame that they knew each other back in high school. And then they broke up, and then they got back together a couple years later after they rekindled the flame. So, you know, his Instagram starts with them back together after a year, and they were together for 2.5 years, was what their parents say.
Right.
So, you know, he doesn't start posting until they're already together. Her Instagram was already there. So, you know, what if this is like a big, you know, scheme as far as for them to both just run off and live their life off grid, and with just these missing people reports? I mean, it's kind of mind blowing that, you know, you got media, news reporters, you got the world sitting outside of this guy's house for, you know, 11 days. And he goes missing. Not only does he go missing on Tuesday, which is the 14th, but he also goes missing the day that the news report comes out about these two women that were found dead in Moab.
Right.
You know,
that incident happened on the 12th, the fight, and the women were last seen on the 13th at a bar, and they were missing after, I believe, after that day.
Right. So, do we know for a fact that Gabby's mother really talked to Gabby on the 25th?
Right.
I mean, is that just what he's saying to the news? You know, we don't know. She won't release that, nor would they release that. You know, we have, you know, police saying that they know exactly where Brian's whereabouts are, and they never knew. No one's physically set eyes on Brian since he's been back on the 1st of September. All we know is the van was found in Florida after September.
Right. Oh, thank you, man.
You know,
I appreciate the call, dude.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Thanks. Take care, man. Guys, we're having some issues with the connection. It's like flip-flopping. It goes okay, then it drops. So I'm going to take another call or two. We'll see how it goes. If it keeps messing up, we'll just call it. If it, right now, it kind of steadied out. So we'll see. I'm going to take another call. We'll keep an eye on it. The stream is doing all kinds of weird stuff and resetting. So let me take a look here. Let's take the next caller, 954.
Anthony from Florida. How are you, Mel?
Anthony, hey, what's up, man?
How you doing? Yeah, I'm just real quick. Let's go back to the house where they had the young detective with the long black jacket checking the Mustang. Yes. When he went inside the vehicle, did you notice he put possibly a small flip-flop, or what do you call it, one of those small phones, you flip phones, in his left upper pocket as he got out?
Yes.
If you look at the video.
You're talking about the police or the FBI, right, when they went to the vehicle?
Yeah, so I think
yes.
I think the parents are trying to tell them, you know, what the last connection is with this vehicle, whatever. Now let's jump over to the part that we can't pronounce. The gentleman with the yellow shirt that stands behind the detective. He's got his sunglasses on. I look at him as a coach on the sideline. He takes his glasses off. He wipes his eyebrows. He puts his glasses in the pocket. He's got his cell phone up. He takes a picture of the sign behind him to show location. So if this guy's a volunteer, why does he need to do all this? And then he moves to the camera, and then somebody pulls him away from the camera for a while, and then he comes back in again. So he puts his hand in his back pocket, like, stay back. Like he's getting information on the questions that the detective is being asked. That's my opinion on that.
Okay.
And jumping to the drones, wouldn't that be something if this guy knew how to have a drone that goes up above the forest? He does his transactions to get a card charged, and then he drops it back down and shuts it off. Like the gentleman says, it's all GPS.
That's what I was going to ask you. So those drones do have GPS?
Yes, they do. The military has that capability. And one more thing real quick. If you follow 33 from that area where they're looking, I think it's 33 across is 4 in Florida, I'm speaking about. Then it hits 19 and goes into the Ocala National Forest. I had a Vietnam vet who did not like the government. He went underground, and he showed me these tunnels that are under the area. That is the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains in the Ocala area. It goes all the way to Sebring. People probably don't even know that. but he showed me cavities where you can just get out of sight. And a lot of felons hide in that area. So with the narcissistic attitude this guy is showing, it's possible that he has the underground system that's helping him hide. And also they put buckets with money, cash, and whatever they need in the ground, tied to a rope with flags or markers so they can go get their goods and then put it back in and walk out of the woods. The police can't do anything. That's what Keys did, the serial killer. He planted stuff all over the forest, all over the country. So this guy, I believe, is...
Right, I think his name was... Yeah.
He actually had buckets in the ground, and my my veteran friend did the same thing. He put his 9mm cash in the water, down in the bucket, and goes, "You want a fresh water?" I go, "Where are you going to get it? There's no 7-Elevens out here." He pulls the bucket out of the ground and hands me a cold water. He goes, "I have them stashed all over the forest."
Wow.
So this is really deep. It just, the way the detectives are, it's almost like Delphi. We believe you're in. Right, we're looking at exactly. I feel it's the same thing. I believe he's got guys watching at every briefing to give him the information to move and hold tight. But anyway,
thanks,
you're doing a great job again. I'll let the guy.
Can I connect back? Am I back here? I'm back. Yo. Oh my God, I can't believe I saved that. I'm sorry, guys. I ended the stream by accident and I connected back to the same stream. Okay, let's keep moving. Oh my God, dude. Italy, I know you're out there. I'm gonna take you almost there. I'm gonna take you in a second. 347, how you doing? Where you calling from? I don't know how I did that.
Hello. Brandon calling out in New York.
Brandon, welcome. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, I think with the whole situation, like the caller was just saying, like, I disagree with what he's just saying, because if you look at the whole story, they're saying, like, even with him, the Miranda, she owned the car. It seems like they're having money problem. The guy just saying just now he have man play. For him to have guys and things set up, he need money. He don't have that kind of money. So what he's saying, you got to take that off the table. For this guy to have that kind of power and have people, well, you need money. Yeah, you need real money to have people doing stuff for you, period. You cannot have guys waiting for you if you don't got that kind of money to pay them. So,
yeah, no, I don't know that. Like, that's what I wonder. Are we giving Brian too much? Like, are we giving Brian?
Yeah, you're giving him too
like,
much credit. This guy just now said he got guys telling him that's money, time, and power. This guy was having problems staying at home with his mom. Where does he get this money from? If he's staying at home with his parents, this made no sense. The girl, the car, the van that they have, it wasn't even his van. It was the girl van. Where is he getting all this money from?
That's what I'm wondering.
Think about that.
Who's helping him? Where is he getting any help?
Where is this money coming from? So, and with the mom, I like to make things make sense. I'm a realist. And with the mom, I think on the 25th, I think when the mom talked to her on the 25th, it's like, if I know you and you know me, usually we talk. And when she talked to her on the 25th, well, we need to know, okay, on the 26th, did she reach out to you? Because the mom is saying, I guess maybe she didn't call that, but the text that she was getting, from where the mom is saying, it didn't sound like her. So if something did go wrong after the 25th, he tried to text because he knows the girl probably always reach out to the parents. So he's like, okay, I don't want to make this a red flag. Let's text the mom something and say, hey, we're doing great, whatever. And if that's not something that she would usually text, that could send a message to a dad or a red flag to me. If I know my sister and she texts me out of nowhere and said something I know she don't say, I'm like, hey, this is weird. My sister don't talk like that.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm gonna make it slide. It could be whatever. But if like days down, my sister end up missing, I'll be like, hold on, something was wrong. I know when she texted me on the 26th, it didn't sound like her. This makes sense now.
Shannon says text was 30th. I think it was multiple texts, but I think the last text was the 30th, which the mother doesn't believe. I think that's correct. I can check the timeline too.
Because it seems like within the 24th and 25th, of them seeing her face, that's when we need to work on. Of she doing FaceTime and really talking to them, it seems like it's at the 25th. And I think something happened to her after that day. And we need to be working from the 25th. So that to mean this girl could be missing for like 3 weeks now. We need to be working from the 24th to the 25th. She's been missing. And we need to see when did this guy get back in town with the van. Because the problem is, if he come back in town without this girl and he don't call the parents, no, how is he back in town like everything all dandy and sandy and she's not back home? If he went back home like everything is dandy and sandy, and how did they find out he's back home, and why did he come back home without the girl? That's a big red flag.
Thanks, man. I appreciate your call. Thank you for calling. And giving us that feedback.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Good call. Yo, we've had people there's people 40 something minutes, so I'm going to try to get to the calls quick. 386, how you doing? Where you calling from? And as everybody's talking, so many thoughts are coming through my head, but because I want to get through the calls, I'm just like, let me just stay quiet, let people talk. So hi, how you doing? Where you calling from? 386.
Hey, my name is Kenyatta.
Welcome.
Great job, by the way. Can you hear me?
Thanks. Yes, I hear you clear.
Hey, you're doing a great job. I just have a few quick points. I'm going to just run through these, okay? So it's a very emotional time for people, especially if you have kids. So everyone needs to think at a logical standpoint. So there's legalities on searches, whether you can search their bank account, their home. The biggest thing, he doesn't have to talk because he's not a criminal. But this isn't me siding with him, okay?
Yeah, no, that's what they've said. They've literally said what you said.
Mm-hmm. He's innocent until there's a probable cause, but his silence is like deafening.
Right.
So the biggest up that he has is time. All the time he's had since her disappearance first. So he doesn't have to say anything. Are there repercussions to lying? No, there's not. They could pop up in a week or two and be totally fine. But there'll be repercussions on their social media, their YouTube pages. People will flag their pages. It'll be hard for them to upload anything. They probably won't get sponsors from this if they're faking it.
Oh, yeah. No, this is going to be, that theory. I mean, I get why people are thinking it, but it's in the long run, they'll be hated. Like, it's going to be, if it was that, But people have done crazy things. People have done crazy things, but I don't know with this one because this, especially the body cam, and somebody mentioned that in the chat. It seems like there's nothing fake about that. Like they were definitely having issues as a couple, and it seems like throughout the entire trip. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So another big thing is they don't have an unlimited food supply. So if they're faking this, they're going to have to come out and get food. Someone's going to recognize them. One point before this all started, first thing I thought, she could be a Baker Act patient. She could be under a Marchman Act. She doesn't have to talk to anyone. They legally can't let her information out because of HIPAA.
I would have thought, though, by now they would say something, or the family would be
but
like,
all this time, but all this time, they would have lifted it, and she would have been able to contact her parents. My biggest thing, has anyone but the parents seen him?
Brian, you're talking about Brian, right? Not that I know of, man. There was that one reporter said him, but people don't believe that was him. Nope, I don't know anybody that's seen him back in Florida.
I don't think anyone but the parents have seen him. And the first thing I thought, he might have defensive wounds. If they got into a fight and he did something bad, she probably scratched.
Right, and he's had a whole bunch of time to heal.
This goes back to my time.
Mm-hmm.
This goes back to my time. A big thing. It's the 21st century, so you getting away with murder is going to be hard. There's always going to be a paper trail.
Right.
Eventually, they're going to look at your bank statement. They're going to see where you, for example, point A and B. Point A where you got gas. That's a transaction. How much time does it take to get to point A to B for you to refill up? They're going to look at that. I'm sure the FBI is 3 steps ahead of everyone. Like I said, they got to get food. They got to get gas.
Right.
If the attorney is helping them, aiding and abetting, they're going to look at his big statements. They're going to look at the parents' big statements. One small detail that just popped up, there's dirt on the truck.
That's be the last one. Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, dirt on the truck. Even if he went to the airport, there's going to be security. He could pay someone to be quiet. Someone's going to crack. But the biggest thing is everyone's forgetting, this is my last point, is the pings for the phone service. They can go up to like 20 miles. So it's all a matter of time. They're going to just decrease the location of where she potentially could be at.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the call. Thank you for calling and giving your thoughts.
Thank you. Good job, man.
Thanks. Thank you. And there's a lot of people, man, like weighing in on this. A lot of people with a lot of thoughts. My mother, and once I knew my mother was like, oh, there's this woman, like she told me she saw on TV. I was like, oh shit, this is big. She don't even know I'm covering this. But also, just to update, Mobile Command Center just left Brian Laundrie, Florida search. Weather has not been good. Waiting to find out if they're actually officially done for the day. I don't know that they're gonna find Brian out there, man. The conditions are just crazy, especially with it's been raining on and off. It's cloudy right now. It rained a little bit today. Every other day it's been raining. The conditions out there for this guy to be surviving out there, I mean, he'd really have to be like an outdoor person, like for real, like survivalist type of thing, to be living off of, like the animals or whatever. How much did he pack and bring out with him if he would to be out there? It's just kind of insane. Next caller. There's a lot of people. Next caller, 575. How you doing? Where you calling from? 57. Hey, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi. I hear you. Hi, how you doing?
Oh, this is Carol from Taos, New Mexico.
Hi, Carol. Welcome.
And yeah, I wanted to make a comment about the hitchhiking situation.
With Miranda Baker, the TikToker.
Yes.
Okay.
I've spent over the decades. I spent an awful lot of time in the Grand Tetons, and a few years ago, even I camped out in the Spread Creek area, campground area.
Spreading.
And when she made the comment, first of all, when she made the comment about Coulter Bay, or Coulter Place, that's where you can buy showers.
Right.
So that would explain why he looks so clean. For
she
one
did
thing.
say that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also, if you look on the map, from Coulter Bay, there are two main roads that go to Jackson. One is a scenic route, and one is kind of a main route. Now, what happened, I think, is they turned off to go to Jackson Dam on the scenic route. And the minute he realized that is when he got agitated and excited. Because the other road goes by the entrance to Spread Creek Campground. If they would have taken the main route, it would have gone by Spread Creek Campground, and that would be where, since the 27th, his van would be.
Where is
and he
this?
was going back to his van.
Okay. The campground is called Spread Creek?
Yeah, the van on the 27th, they've got actual video footage of that van parked in the Spread Creek camping area, designated camping area.
That's the video that came
And
out
that
today
is
with the couple where they drive by the van? Is that the video that came out today with the couple that drive by? Okay.
Yes. And so that other road, which they turned off on to go to the scenic route, and he realized that that's why he got agitated. That's my take on it. Because he wanted to go back to his van that was in the Spread Creek area. That's my contention, that was a possibility. And if he got back to the Spread Creek area on the 29th, he had a 35-hour drive to get to Florida, and that is possible to get back there on the September 1st, because I've certainly done that. And the other thing is, on some of their blogs, they talked about how he liked to hike barefoot on the rocks in 100 degrees. And I also saw a picture of somebody in the neighborhood of his parents in recent times here, taking a picture of a guy they thought looked like him, and they made the comment, "Oh, he's barefoot." This guy was walking barefoot. And that just was kind of like a connection to me, that maybe it was, the barefoot part was the connection kind of situation. But anyway, on this map thing, that was my contention. I mean, it just looked so obvious to me that he was trying to get back to his van, and I think he had plenty enough time to get back to the to Florida from the 29th, even if he started driving right then. So
Thank you.
that's all I needed to say. Nobody's commented about that. Yeah, bye.
Thanks. Bye. Okay, 843. How you doing? Where you calling from? What are your thoughts?
Dr. One.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. There was one thing that I found confusing. That was Brian's parents. Now, this has been a big thing. Is they haven't spoken out at all,
Right.
and that's what kind of confused me. Is because like why would if they're like keeping information, like shouldn't that like mean it could be brought in for like questioning and all that? Because that's what I would think.
I guess they have nothing they can question him on. I guess that's the way the law works. I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty crappy that nobody's saying nothing, the family or anything. They're just staying behind the scenes.
What I noticed in the body footage is that everyone commented on how much he said that he loved her, but the thing is, a normal person would if their fiance had gone missing, they would have been the first person to speak out, and they would have done all they could to help out. That's what I would assume would happen with a situation but this is he's gone and she's gone, but it's like, why would he disappear? Like the lady said, he's gone right when they found out that right when he they said that what was going on. It was like so weird that he was gone after a week, was it? It was 3 days. It was I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So crazy. I mean, this whole thing is sad too. I mean.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling, man.
Thank you very much, sir.
Right.
Thank you very much for what you're doing.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Thanks, dude. And I normally don't I like to let people talk, but I've never had so many people call, so I have to do what I guess everybody else does, have a timer or something. 727, how you doing? Where you calling from? 727, are you there? Okay, 727, I'm just going to put...
I'm
there
here,
you are.
Mel. I'm here. I was just on mute.
All right, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hi, this is Albany Nanisa.
So finally got you. How you doing?
I'm good. I was just running around finding a charger for my 9-year-old. You know how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so I have a few points because there's a lot of stuff that I'm seeing people comment on, and they're just guessing about things. Okay, so my first point is Brian was seen in Florida. He was actually pulled over in the van, and the officers, when they pulled him over, obviously, wanted to speak to him about everything. They had already been informed.
When was that? Do you know the date? I heard about that. I couldn't.
Yes, I think I want to say he was pulled over. Maybe it was around, the time his mom reported her, I would say, because how would they know, So it had to have been around the 11th because the mom said she reported her missing the 11th, right? September 11th. So that's when Newport, Seminole County would have obviously been informed, that he's back in Florida or keep an eye out for him because how else would they have pulled him over? Why would they have pulled him over? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I could be wrong on the dates, but I know he was pulled over in Florida by the Seminole County officers.
Okay.
So he was pulled over in Florida. They wanted to speak with him, obviously. He said, no, I have an attorney, blah, 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 blah. So he has been seen in Florida. So that's one. Two, this is another big one no one has been speaking about. Yesterday, the PIO officer, Josh, when they did that little small 11-minute press conference yesterday, a lot of people didn't catch it, but I did. One of the, I think it was a Fox reporter, she said, Josh, did Brian have a gun?
Right, he didn't want to answer, or he didn't know.
And remember, he said it was very quick, very fast. He said, I do not want to comment on that right now.
Right.
So when Josh said that, I kind of started going back to all the other, press conferences and seeing if anyone else had asked that specific question. And it hadn't been asked throughout, the whole investigation. So I was thinking, them two for months going, doing this whole camping thing on the van. There's no way they traveled, you know what I mean, Mel, without a damn gun. Doing all this rural area.
Thinking, yeah. It's dangerous.
I feel pretty confident that at the end of the day, they're New Yorkers. He's still a New Yorker. He's a man. I'm pretty confident if him and his soon-to-be wife, are about to do this van life thing, there's going to be a gun for protecting. I mean, and I'm sure for animals, if anything, So that's a big point. Another one, everyone keeps talking about the 24th, the 25th. We need to stop worrying about the 24th, the 25th, okay? Gabby, there's surveillance of her on the 24th checking out of the hotel with him.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
The 25th, there's a FaceTime call. It's not just a text.
Right.
There's
With
a
the mother.
FaceTime call directly to her mother. Yes.
Right.
Okay, so we know she's good the 25th. The 26th, okay, that's when we also have, hold on, I'm sorry, forgive me, skip the 26th. I don't have any details on the 26th. The 27th, there's an Instagram like from Gabby's page. She liked this girl's page that she always liked. So what they did was they went back to see, was it like a random like? No, Gabby always liked, I guess, this girl's page that was like a van lifer as well, Yep. And that was about 5 o'clock on the 27th. So I've kind of narrowed it down on my own. I believe Gabby was alive still the 27th. Okay. I believe on the 28th is when something happened. Okay. The 28th is when there was officially no more contact as far as she goes. Okay. And now we're on the 29th. Madison, I believe her 100%. Okay. The 29th at 5:30 is when he hitchhiked to Madison and her boyfriend. Okay. He asked them for the ride. She said they would, he wanted to go to Jackson, offered them $200.
Miranda.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Miranda. Forgive me.
It's okay. It's okay. I know it's a lot of names, a lot of dates. So yeah.
I know. Yeah, I have it written down. So Miranda Baker. Yeah, Miranda Baker, the 29th. He approached her and the boyfriend for a ride at 5:30 p.m. He was officially out of their vehicle at 6:09 p.m., she said, right? So I believe, Mel, this is my theory, guys, because I've narrowed it down to the 28th. I'm just going to give you guys my theory, okay? Don't come at me.
They're going to come for you. They're going to look for you.
So I believe the 28th, something happened. I do believe that it did not happen out, in the wilderness or anything like that initially. I think something might have happened in the van on the 28th, okay? When we see him, I think he was going to leave her and the van there. That's why he was seen the 29th, okay, the next day, because he had been hiking. He was hiking away from the van. His initial thought was leave, play it off like I wasn't with her. We got in an argument. I left the van, and boom, something obviously happened to her when they would eventually find her at the van. He probably got nervous in the midst of that day of the 29th. He then returned to the van, did whatever he did with her, and started driving. Another thing, it was only a 35-hour drive. So if he made it back, if we take Madison Blake's word, if he made it back to the van even, let's say even 10 o'clock that night on the 29th, he had plenty of time to make it back here to Florida, to Sarasota County, okay, because it's only about a 35, 36-hour drive. Another big point, a lot of media have skipped over this, but if you've been with the case from the beginning, most people probably know this. The first initial sighting and report of Brian Mel was not the 1st of September in Florida. The first sighting, they'll probably trigger you. The first sighting of Brian back here in Sarasota County in Florida is the 31st.
So the 31st,
okay?
really?
Yes,
who?
Yes. Well, I
Is
guess
that the police
neighbor,
thing?
they're
talking about, or neighbor?
Yeah,
or who?
I'm pretty. I think it's the neighbor, or whatever. Because local media here in St. Pete, because I'm only about an hour away from them. Local media and like Facebook and stuff, before it blew up really big, they said that Brian and the van had been obviously seen at the parents on the 31st, not the 1st.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think it just kind of got skipped over, and then it blew up, and then they just said the 1st, and it just took off, like, you know what I mean? Because it was such a small detail. But I do believe, that it was the 31st. He got pulled over, so there was a sighting of him. I do believe, though, that he is not out there in that wilderness. I do believe the parents are helping him evade. And if they're not, he's out there and he's committed suicide. I think we're at the point where I do believe Brian. I mean, I believe that Brian, if he's going to be found, he's going, to be found not alive, if you get my drift. And if we don't find him, we're not finding him because he was helped. He was completely,
Right.
when I say help, family, you know what I mean?
Thank you. I
But
appreciate
yeah,
the call.
sorry, those are like the really important points I wanted people to know. I'm going to make a video, so if I'm
All
not
right.
huge on YouTube, but cases that I love, so if you want to
Thank
look
you.
at it later, you can.
Okay, what's your channel?
It's Albanian Anissa, so Albanian
Okay.
_Anissa.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, bye, Mel.
All right,
Talk to
take
you
care.
later.
Bye. Thanks for calling. More calls. But I see people talking about a body being found. I don't know. Can somebody email me a link so we can try to confirm that? I don't want to just put it out there without. Can somebody email me at or DM me on Facebook or email me or something so we can get some sort of confirmation? Fox News Twitter. Okay, let me take a look. Let's see first. Don't get too. Let's see, bro. This is Fox News. Let me see. Fox News. Then we'll take the calls. I don't know. Oh, shit. They're telling the truth. Not the trolls. People are saying the truth. Breaking news. Body found where Gabby Petito's search is underway in Wyoming. No confirmation of identity. Okay. So just to be, for everybody to no confirmation of identity, but holy crap. Holy crap. Okay, let me keep taking calls. I'm gonna leave that on the screen. Lord Jesus Christ. 941. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Did you say
Yes,
are you there?
sir, I
Hello?
got you. Yes, yeah. How you doing?
Sorry about that. I heard a big beep and then you cut out.
Okay.
My name is Mike. I live in Northport, Florida. I'm right down the road from all this is happening.
Oh, cool, man.
And I can tell you right now, and I won't be long-winded. There's a couple things here that people are saying. I'm hearing a lot of rambling. The police officers that were out of state when they did the first initial stop, the traffic stop when he hit the curb. So the police officer at that point in time was building a case. That's why he was talking to his body cam, where he was talking about the male subject hitting the curb, whatever. At that point in time, those two subjects were not missing. So therefore, there's really nothing for them to do at that point in time.
Okay.
So here in Northport, there is a large homeless population that lives in those woods. And the further you go out, the more snake-ridden it is and the more gator-ridden it is. So there's no tunnels, there's nothing out there, and the heat is drastically overpowering, would eventually kill you with no water. So therefore, the reason I'm saying this is there's something that's out there helping this person get away and staging this. And if you see the videos of the police going through the swamps, they're only going through the areas that they can get through. The brush is so thick out there, someone being barefooted, there's no way in the world they could survive getting through that. And,
Right,
there's been
about-
times I'm... Go
Which
ahead.
area we're talking about? The Florida, right? The parks, right? The reserve, the
Yeah,
Carlton Reserve.
right, absolutely. Even here off of Tamiami Trail, which is 41 all the way to 75, the woods and the areas, Northport is very unpopulated, however, being populated. And there's rattlesnakes galore. You've got wildlife, and you've got nothing but swamp when you go so far out. So there's no way in the world he could be out there. Now, if he did make it out there to the Gulf, there could have been a boat sitting out there waiting for him to be in the middle of the Gulf and on his way to Texas. Does that make sense at all?
Right.
And so those are my thoughts. Obviously, I wasn't there. I'm not part of that. But for me, looking at this and doing what I do, I'm thinking that there's got to be somebody helping him out, because out there in those woods, the survival is not good.
Wow. Right. It's just, from what I saw, it's crazy. I mean, it's really like, there really is all kinds of animals out there. You'd have to be like some sort of survivalist. You probably have to carry, right? I would think. At least be armed
you
out
could
there.
best believe, right? Well, you could best believe everyone in Florida's carrying. Even the liberals are carrying. They say they're not. But But the thing is
Right.
the heat, the fresh water is very limited, and the heat would kill you out there on your own, barefooted and out there.
Right,
And plus,
right.
the police frequent those woods very often with the homeless population. And also, too, one more thing, I'll leave you alone. And I got 3 minutes here. Somebody said, "Well, they're not in trouble. They're not in trouble." Well, in Florida, they can put a Baker Act on you if they feel as if that you're not mentally stable. It gives the law enforcement an edge to snatch someone up to get them off the street in order to deal with what they have to do, and then add charges at that point in time.
Right. And I think it's like a 72 hours that they can do. Like they can
Absolutely.
hold you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, against your will and everything. They could just take you, if you're deemed a
Yes,
danger
absolutely.
to yourself.
So, all
Okay.
right, my friend. Hey, thank you very
Thank you.
much,
Appreciate
and I
that,
know I hope that helped out.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye. So he's like from the close to the or in the Northport area. He gave us a little bit of information about the chance of Brian being out there is kind of slim, I guess. Also, I'm gonna keep this on the screen because this is breaking news. It's kind of crazy. I mean, unconfirmed identity, but there was a body found where the searches are. Body found where Gabby Petito search is underway in Wyoming. That whole Spread Creek area, which a couple of people have mentioned Spread Creek. The other thing, too, really quick, Northport police are clamping down on media outside Brian Laundrie's house. So they're stopping people from going over there. A red line has been drawn in the road, and we're no longer allowed to park anywhere near the house. I'll do a live update at 5 p.m. So this is the biggest thing right now. Let me take the next call. 832.
Hey, Mel.
Hi. Hey, how you doing?
This is Susie in Texas. One of the things that's been bothering me is that, he flew back, and apparently from what the family had said, they put her stuff in storage in a storage unit.
Right.
And I'm thinking, why haven't they at least gotten a warrant since they're searching for him and her to get into that storage unit? I think that it would be perfectly valid if they're looking for a missing person because, we had that happen in Texas where that little boy, Samuel Osen, was actually kept in the storage unit.
Storage unit, yeah.
And if he has remorse over her, why wouldn't he want to go there to commit suicide if that's where her stuff was?
Right.
So that was my one thought. I know you've got a lot of people to get to.
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that.
Okay, and thanks for doing this great show.
Thank you. Okay. All right. More 205. 205. How you doing? Where you calling from? 205. I wanted to pull up something interesting too. Hey. Who is this?
I have a couple of quick points.
Sure.
I actually saw the video on YouTube that the couple uploaded overnight. I think I was the first one to see the video, and I analyzed it for quite a few hours. You can actually see in the video, I looked at it on a very large 4K monitor, and you can see the back door of the van actually open a little, and then about 5 seconds later, you see that kind of blurry spot, you see it close, and it's pretty clear. Also, everybody's seen the flip-flops on the ground, so I'm quite positive somebody was in the van. Not sure if it was both of them. She also sent a message via Snapchat to her friend on the 27th saying that she was headed to Yellowstone. So something doesn't add up with those two things. Why would you go to Yellowstone after 7 p.m. at night, like overnight, or headed that way? It's not too far away, right? I think something happened between, and then he, the hitchhiking thing, Miranda Baker, it was August 29th. So something apparently happened to Gabby between the night of August 27th, when we see the van in the video, and roughly the night of August 28th. And I'm quite certain it most likely happened based on this timeline in that near Spread Creek. So it's the only thing that makes sense at this point, and I think we'll probably find out soon.
I really want to find I mean, I know on the map, I wanted to find the Spread Creek area. Like I put Spread Creek, but I don't know exactly where. It's just Spread Creek, this creek that just, the campground. I want to know where exactly this search was that the FBI mentioned. They had a little map. I don't know the coordinates really, but I'm going to try to find that for you guys so we can see on the map. I'm also going to see if there's any news things that pops up as well about this. But yeah, man, thanks for calling, man. Any thoughts like with this, with this body unconfirmed identity being found?
I have a gut feeling it unfortunately is her based off this particular time. When I went through put all that together, it just seems I knew instantly, something had to have happened to her between roughly 7 or 8 p.m. the 27th to roughly all the way up to, maybe midnight the 28th or even overnight the 28th. And then, which is not like, if he was already, hiking or camping along the Snake River, then that could have been, I'm just thinking between the night of the 27th and the night of the 28th is when something happened, and it happened around Spread Creek, and I'm pretty positive.
All right, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate the call.
Thanks, man. Bye.
All right, take care. All right, I got the GPS coordinates here. If it's even right. Let me close out all this other stuff. Let me take the next caller as well. No, I don't even think this is right. It's kind of weird. All right, let me take the next caller in the meantime. 941, how you doing? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Bradenton, Florida, and we are not too far from Northport. So we're right before Sarasota County. So here's my big thing I'm going to go real quick. But so she has a pattern of talking to her mom. Then she doesn't suddenly talk to her mom. But so when this first came out, I then was like, let me go on her Instagram. So I had read it, was reading her pictures, and she kind of just does inspirational quotes, a quick little ditty, kind of like her van life. So after the 25th, if you go back to her pictures of her arches, suddenly it's a long 2-paragraph thing, which is unlike her on her Instagram.
I saw somebody post that too, or talk about that.
Yeah. So all of that, and then suddenly, I know the first time I read the things, it was just the quick quotes. But then it says how dangerous it is climbing these arches, but being experienced. It never said how dangerous it was the first time. So I was kind of thinking before he went missing, he's setting up his plot for, she fell off. Then I think stuff got to him too much because he has the mental illness. She has the mental illness. Another question I had was, why did the cops let him go to the hotel instead of leaving a young 22-year-old? I'm not against the cops because I thought they did a great job, but instead of letting a young 22-year-old be out there on her own because she had anxiety about being by herself.
Yeah, I don't know.
I find it. Yeah. Also, her dad. So another caller had a good point about who has the money. Like both of them have been gone for 3 months. They didn't have great jobs. They didn't have. I mean, we don't even know what he's done. She was the juice, worked at a juice bar. So you're not making millions to be out there.
Right.
So that being said, so the dad had to send her a pizza at a hotel one night. So that's out there. Her friend, she made a friend named Rose on Instagram, said she had to go that Gabby went to her house 7 to 12 times in the first year that they dated due to fighting. So that's on YouTube. Then now I don't know what kind of news you get or where you are, but it told the parents, don't talk about their relationship. The reason is because these two are tumultuous together anyway. It's either great or it's just in the gutter. So that was my thing, and the fact that her things were changed. And I think, when you go on Instagram, so I think he had her phone at some point after something happened. I'm in agreement with all the other callers that it had to be between the 27th and 29th. that
thank you.
whatever
That something happened, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think it's
Appreciate
all
it.
for that.
And final thing, real
No,
quick, do you
thanks.
think this is possibly her? Like, do you think this body, this
No, I
unconfirmed
think
body?
I sadly do think it's her. I really do. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. I think he's a coward, and I
Thank
hate
you.
to say I do hope that he offed himself.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, you too. Somebody sent me a link. Thank you. Multiple people sent me this. Allison, thank you. An email. Oh, multiple people emailed me. Thank you, guys. How do you watch this? What do? You hit watch TV or something? Live news. What do you do here? I gotta log in. All right, let me do this. Is that what you have to do? Or is there somewhere else I could just watch it without logging in? 3,000 people. Mel, you're an idiot. Let me take the next call while we figure this out. We're gonna pull up the news. I think there's a couple of stations that are gonna be going live, so we can hear what they're gonna talk about. 919, how you doing? Where you calling from? Do I have to log in?
Hey, this is Christian calling from Chapel
Christian.
Hill, North Carolina. Yeah, sad. It's I saw you pulled up Brian Enton, and then they said they didn't know the gender yet, so that's a little scary and bizarre to me.
Right,
but
right.
yeah, the one thing I want to point out though is the stickers on the back of the van. So in the video on the 27th, there's only the 2 stickers on the back of the van.
Right.
Can you hear me?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when the van is back in Florida, there's 3 more stickers on the back of the van. One of the stickers, which says "Have a great day" or "Have a good day," the location on the sticker is Venice, Florida. So sometime between the 27th of August and the time the van got back to the house, that sticker from Venice, Florida was put on the van. Now, either Gabby did it while she was in the van board after that date sometime. So to me, that means baby Gabby was still alive on the 27th when they took that video, right?
Right.
I mean, why would Brian put that sticker on the van between the time he left, if he did kill her, or if he knew she was dead? Maybe he didn't know she was dead. Maybe he just left her, and maybe she got lost, and maybe that's the body they found. She was lost in the woods, and something happened to her. But
no idea, man.
That sticker doesn't make sense. Why were 2 stickers put on the van from that point on the 27th? And especially the one from Florida. And the thing is, it's from Venice, Florida. And Venice, Florida is right next to Northport. So.
All right. Thanks, man. We're going to tune into this now.
I'll say one more thing really quick. Everyone's talking about the guy, Brian, being really nervous.
Yes.
Where the cops were there, but nobody's mentioning the fact that they both smoked pot. And I'd be pretty nervous too if the cops came and I had pot in my van. So
yeah.
I don't know what to say about his.
Yeah, everybody
nervousness
reacts
at that point.
differently to cops, and depending on if you're on something or what. I have no idea.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
man.
you. Yo, so bye. We got to look at this. We got to see what they're saying now. We're going to watch this. There's a bunch of callers. And so just give me a couple minutes. I'm going to try to get back to the phones, but let's see what they're saying about this. Is this the right station
On
everybody's talking
live
about?
now from Fox.
Let's check it out what they have to say. So there was a body found where the search was going on for Gabby in Wyoming. And from what I'm aware of, this search was going on. Let me get rid of this now. They're going to switch over to somebody now. I think somebody live. So let's give them a
Thank you all
second.
for being with us here on Live Now from Fox, where we bring raw, unfiltered, and nonstop news from all across the nation, bringing you this developing and breaking news story. The FBI is going to hold a press conference in the next hour
Brian's live
regarding
on
the
Twitter.
Gabby Petito case. A body has been found in Wyoming where searchers are looking for her. And this comes as searchers continue to look for missing woman Gabby Petito, and a press conference is scheduled to be held in the next hour regarding
Press
this.
conference.
Now, a body was found, but the person's identity has not been confirmed. Now, we may get more answers when we have that press conference in an hour, but as of now, there has not been a person's identity confirmed. All we know so far is that a body has been found in Wyoming in the search area where they are searching for Gabby Petito. Petito vanished in August while traveling across the country with her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. He returned home without her and has been named a person of searching for Gabby Petito.
I had a question specific to the differences.
The search for her fiance, Brian Laundrie, who is a person of interest for the public to be on the lookout.
Okay. FBI conference will be on Fox now, live soon. Okay. This is the right channel, right? For Fox? This is, I mean, I know we're on Fox, but this is, they have multiple channels sometimes that they stream from. I believe this is the correct one. So there's supposed to be a press conference coming. We're going to just stay tuned and see what happens. And we might take some calls too while we're waiting. Let's see if anything pops up now. And what I would think is that, you know, of course they're gonna have to go like do what they do to identify somebody, but they might be able to tell. I mean, I'm sure maybe by gender, maybe the last stuff she was seen in wearing her clothes, you know.
Thank you for being with us here on Live Now from Fox, where we bring raw, unfiltered, and nonstop news from all across the nation. I'm Stephanie Weaver, bringing you breaking news and a developing story. A body has been found where Gabby Petito's search is underway in Wyoming. There is currently no confirmation on the identity. Investigators on Saturday continued the national search for the missing woman, Gabby Petito, a week after she was first reported missing. The search for her fiance, Brian Laundrie, who is a person of interest in the case, has ramped up since police officers went to his Florida home Friday expecting to speak with him and were told by his parents they hadn't heard from him since Tuesday.
Everybody's telling me Fox Live. What Fox Live? I don't see. Here's what I'd see when it's okay. Fox News channel live. Look, when I see the search, that's it, right? Then I go filters and we go under live. We got ABC News. We got Skyline, Bloomberg. This is the one I was just watching now, live now from Fox, which I believe they're the ones following. And then we just got all this other weird stuff. Unless you guys are talking about actual TV. Type in Fox Now Live. That's what I was watching. Fox Now Live. Live now from Fox. Yeah. Yeah. We're on the right channel. Let me go back to this is the right channel. Brian said too that they were right now we're waiting for a press conference, so there's nothing being said. We're just waiting.
Thank you all for being with us here on Live Now from Fox as we bring raw, unfiltered, and nonstop.
And for people thinking that this is what's going on. Body found where Gabby Petito, search is underway in Wyoming, no confirmation. This is the news right here. So, you know, Brian's reporting on it also. We just don't know. They said they don't know the gender yet or identity. Okay, so we're waiting. The hell did that shit go? There.
News is confirming that the coroner arrived this afternoon in the Bridger-Teton National Forest in Moose, Wyoming, where agents have been looking for the missing Florida woman. 10 minutes later, canine search teams began leaving the area. Petito, who was 22, was reported missing over a week ago after her fiance returned to their Northport home without her. Brian Laundrie, who's 23, was later named a person of interest in the case, but he himself later went missing. Now, multiple law enforcement agencies have spent the weekend combing the Carlton Preserve in Venice. Laundrie's parents picked up his car there on Tuesday, but did not report him missing until Friday. So far, search teams have not found anything in the 25,000-acre preserve. Meanwhile, the search for Gabby was underway out west, not far from where the traveling couple had last been seen together. The FBI on Sunday said law enforcement agencies were searching the Spread Creek dispersed camping area located in the Bridger-Teton National Forest on the east boundary of Grand Teton National Park. A family traveling through Grand Teton National Park posted a video Sunday morning that they believe shows Gabby Petito's van on August 27th, 2 days after Petito last spoke to her mother. Now, again, a body has been found in the Wyoming search site, but we have no confirmation of identity. But when we have any confirmation, if we have any confirmation, we will bring that to you here on Live Now, but we also will have that press conference at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Mountain time.
Okay. So there's a press conference happening at 6, okay? My time, Eastern time. So let's take some calls. We're waiting. Nobody knows anything. We're waiting for the press conference. 252, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Hi, I'm calling from North Carolina.
Hi, welcome.
Yes, thank you for taking my call. The video where the police stopped the two.
Yes.
After they separated the two, why did they leave her in the wooded area and put him in a hotel? I'm just curious about that part.
Right, a lot of people were wondering about that.
Yeah, so maybe Brian just got afraid and just left. Maybe he didn't kill her. So it just doesn't add up to me.
I heard so many different theories. Some people think he did some people think he didn't do nothing. Some people believe they just got into a fight. Some people mentioned strangling, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I believe he knows something. You know, I don't know to what degree. And that whole search today, thousands and thousands of acres in Carlton Park Reserve, seems like it was a bust. I don't think Brian's out there. And a caller called from Northport, and he was saying, "You gotta." It's highly. They highly doubt that this guy's out there. And the weather and everything, it's been raining. It's mush, swamp, animals, all kinds of stuff. And it's
exactly.
Just huge. So I don't know where this guy's at, but yeah. Thank you. I appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. For the people that are just joining, there's going to be a press conference in 40 minutes.
From all across the nation, thank you for being with us. And for those tuning in right now, we have breaking news to report. A body was found where Gabby Petito's search is underway in Wyoming. And we wanted to bring you this breaking news coverage as quickly as it became available. A body found at the Wyoming search site. No confirmation yet on identity. The body has been found in Wyoming in the same area where officials are searching for Gabby Petito, but there is no confirmation yet on the identity. Fox News confirms the coroner arrived this afternoon in the Bridger-Teton National Forest in Moose, Wyoming, where agents have been looking for the missing Florida woman. 10 minutes later, canine search teams began leaving the area. Petito, 22 years old, was reported missing over a week ago.
So they're kind of just repeating the same information over and over. Apparently, I'm not the only person that mispronounced Teton, right? But let's take some more calls, man. There's going to be a press conference. I don't know what they're going to say. I think that even though they're going to have to do the DNA and forensics and stuff, they should hopefully be able to tell us, you know, whether at least the gender, one. Two, what was this person wearing? Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Does it match some of the things that Gabby would have worn? And where the hell is Brian? Right? 610, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Good. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Hi. Thanks for the call, man.
I just wanted to kind of go over some of the details from not really today, more of at the beginning of the week. One of the big things that stood out to me was in the interview that the police gave yesterday, where they were going based off of information that the family provided them, rather than, you know, the FBI tips or, you know, things like that. They were strictly just basing the search that they dedicated all these resources to based off of what the family provided, which is just weird because in that same interview, the resource officer said that he couldn't answer how the vehicle got back to the parents' house. Well, if the police didn't find it and take care of it, there's only one other possibility, and that would be the parent or somebody that is helping him do this or hide. And also with that, would be more likely that he's obviously not in there. I mean, you've had other people that live in the area say there's no way that he's still in there, which would mean to me that he took the car there, got picked up and went somewhere else, and the family picked the car up and took it back to their house. I heard somebody ask about where he's getting the money. In that case, where the family is helping him, I would assume it would be his parents or, another family member.
Right. I've had that talk with a friend too. Like, it seems like he had some sort of help or something, man. Even maybe with moving the vehicles from the van to the Mustang, I don't know.
Well, and that in itself kind of made me automatically pinpoint the parents, because, I mean, if I were to just, even if I told my parents, hey, I'm going to go hiking and I'm gone for 3 days with no communication, knowing my girlfriend is missing, that just, there's no way I'm going to leave in the middle of the investigation like that, when I'm the answer to what's happening, possibly.
Right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the call.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care, man. Oh, there is chopper footage of the area, guys. We can take an actual. Thank you. Let me put this on the screen in the meantime while we wait for the press conference. Oh, this was just, it's about a minute long, but we can just kind of take a look. Investigators searching for Gabby Petito have found evidence in the case. We're now being told a 4 o'clock presser is scheduled. We'll carry it here in KSL Live. This is, I guess, what the area looks like. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting like, by the way, too, I'd appreciate that. This is going to be insane, man. If this really, I wonder if this guy's Brian is watching somewhere. If he's alive still. Thank you. So, yeah, 40 minutes to go. Really curious what they have to say at this press conference. Hopefully it's more informative than some of the other ones. Like the one yesterday from the Northport Police, that was kind of informative and a little bit information with regards to the parents and stuff. Some of the other ones haven't really. Oh, Lord. Sorry about that. All right, let me take the next call. If you guys have any like good links, if there's something that pops up or breaking or anything, email me if you can. iCkEdMeL at iCkEdMeL.com. Shoot. So I'm going to be really careful with some of the stuff. I'm going to say it's still unconfirmed. Okay. I don't want to just jump yet, especially when there's a press conference coming. But it says possible evidence found, which you just saw in the search for Gabby Petito. Officials confirmed to KSL TV that the body of Gabrielle Petito has been found. Oh, oh Lord. Oh Lord. Did they confirm it? Let me type this. Oh boy. Can you, and for the person that emailed me that, can you send me a direct link? I'd like to work with the actual link if possible. I'll try to search it myself. Just to be safe. You know what I'm saying? KSL TV. Yeah, if you can send me a link, I'd appreciate that.
The search area. Again, the FBI alerting and FBI Denver alerting that law enforcement partners will provide an update in the investigation into Gabby Petito's disappearance at 4 p.m. Mountain Time at the Craig Thomas Discovery and Visitor Center in the Grand Teton National Park. This is all the information we have at this time, but in about 40 minutes or so, we should have that updated press conference and more information.
Okay, so we'll pause that for now. We'll just leave it muted. 269, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. Okay, so I'm from Michigan. I have a couple things. I'm a survivor of domestic violence, so I totally get this from personal standpoint, and this is sad. I'm really sad, and I really hope this is not true, what's going on. I have 2 daughters and myself, but I do want to say the reason why they're looking in Florida for this guy is because he has information, right? And if he is doing personal or trying to do personal harm, why wouldn't we try to look for him? He has information for this child. My heart goes out for all these families, everybody. I mean, we all deal with crap every day, right?
Right.
I just say I really do hope that this is not true, and I really do hope Gabby is found and she's good. I do want to say, though, we should not be looking at the police department as they're being bad. They're doing everything they can do right now, and they are looking for Brian for a reason. They are looking for him because he has information. And if he is trying to do personal harm, we need to look for him because, yes, he is still a human being. The justice system will work for what the justice system needs to work for. But he has information that will lead us to Gabby and what happened and why it happened. Domestic violence is a serious situation in this world, in the United States. We need to make sure that we take care of each other, look for each other, say, hey, how are you doing every day to our loved ones? Make sure that we take care of our loved ones every day and make sure that we are taking care of them and looking at them and saying, how are you doing every day? This is a prime example. These people went across the United States just to try to do a vacation. How hard is it to have a vacation with family? Everybody knows that's a stressful thing. So I want everybody to look for, this is a situation, he might not be vicious. He might not be vicious. None of this is vicious. It can just be that this was a situation that they had mental health situations. They were trying to do a vacation. That's stressful in itself. We just need to make sure that we love one another, are friends with one another, and look out for one another. Stop blaming each other. Just look out for one another, right?
Yeah, agreed. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. You have a good day and good job.
You too.
It's
Thank
my
you.
first time
Appreciate it.
watching. Awesome job.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Okay.
Guys, so we're just hanging out. We're waiting for the press conference. It feels like time has just slowed down. Like the time was going fast. Now it's like waiting and waiting because I'm really curious what they're going to have to say. I got another call, 580. How you doing? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it going, boss? I'm calling all the way from Germany, actually.
Wow. Hey.
So, yeah. So I have a couple of thoughts. So I know that law enforcement and military personnel have thermal imaging capabilities. So if they're looking in the area that Brian is alleged to be in, they would have found him by now, assuming that he didn't off himself, in which case they wouldn't find his body. Now, there's a lot of attention coming to this whole situation, which I find kind of suspicious, but I mean, maybe it's because people are well invested in it. Maybe it was the timing. I don't know, what have you. But there's a YouTuber that I saw who had a video on it just yesterday, and his name is Sloan. It's spelled S-L-O, the letter 4, or the number 4, but it's meant to be an A and an N, so it's Sloan. He mentioned something about, in passing, in the last part of his video, of his most recent video on the situation, where Gabby was actually spotted in an area, and the last thing that she was wearing was a pair of like purple yoga pants and like a black like a dark gray blackish sort of jacket, and she was actually seen in an Instagram post laying down in an encampment when these 4 people were taking a selfie in an area. Now, yeah. I'm really hoping that it isn't her, or I'm really hoping that it is her and that she's fine. Assuming that she is still alive, what I think is that she's holding out because she wants to have the situation backfire on, and maybe intentionally, financially, and legally hurt Brian and his family for the situation. I think Brian might have panicked from their little fight and whatever happened, and they both broke up and split apart, and he feels guilty for leaving her out there. Now, and I really hope this isn't the case, because a lot of bodies can be found out in the wilderness, and, you know, especially like out in national forests, a lot of people disappear in those locations, and a lot of people wind up dead. Bodies will be found like, you know, months, even years later. I'm really hoping it isn't her, but God forbid if it is her. Brian clearly did something. He's probably not hiding out in the area. He either might be hiding out in plain sight, or he already made his escape to another state. That's my, that's what I think is going on. And if they both are alive, they're probably just doing this for clout, because a lot of people have done some pretty crazy and insane things for clout. I'm really hoping this isn't. I really hope that it is the case, and in which case they should be held accountable for all the resources that they're wasting here. But Thanks, God forbid. I'm just going to leave this on this one last point. Unfortunately, if Gabby is found to be dead, there's no way in hell, there's no place that Brian can go that, you know, the law won't find him, and he'll be brought to justice. And I really hope that the family, you know, my deepest condolences for them, and I hope they find peace, and I hope hopefully Gabby's all right.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the call. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Take it easy.
Thanks. Yo, thank you for everybody that called in today, man. I appreciate it. I wasn't expecting this. The timing was just crazy. You know, I just thought we were going to come on, take some calls, talk about the stuff. I had a feeling something was going to break today, and I thought it was going to be with Brian, not with Gabby. And so we're waiting for the press conference. For all the new people that joined, it's starting in 30 minutes. The FBI is going to do a press conference. You know, this could be her. We don't know. They haven't confirmed the gender, you know, what she was in, like who this person, what they were wearing. I think we're going to find out at this press conference. And it is insane. And then now just thinking about this guy that holds the answers to what maybe happened is out in the wind, gone. He's either on the run, hiding, whatever, or done something to himself. 914, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from New York.
Please. Hi, welcome.
Hi, thanks for taking my call, and thanks for doing what you're doing. I just want to say, like, you know, all this speculation city, and of course that's what we naturally do. You know, that's what we're here for, is to talk to each other and present our theories. But to me, this is pretty darn obvious. She had Spread Creek on her Dirt app as a place that she intended on going to. Their van was seen there on the 27th by the dash cam video. And then he shows up 2 days later in Coulter Bay, which is not far at all from Spread Creek. He probably hitchhiked there or walked there in a panic state after murdering her. And he probably took a shower in Coulter Bay, where you can purchase showers to, you know, clean his body up. And then hitchhiked back to the area. Like the lady said earlier from New Mexico, I think her name was Carol, realized they were heading away from his van, got out of the Jeep, and then went back to his van in Split Creek to, you know, cover up his evidence or whatever he'd done to her. And I honestly believe that from what I see in the body cam video, that they probably truly loved each other and had a really immature relationship full of toxic, petty, stupid fighting. They were probably having an argument, and he probably lost it and strangled her and killed her accidentally, or maybe intentionally, or, you know, in a fit of rage, passionate rage. I mean, these things happen. It doesn't mean that person's a bad person. It means they completely lost it and in a state of mental illness and rage. But nonetheless, he's a bad person in the fact that he left her there, that he didn't call for help to try to revive her. Panic or not, you know, mistake or not, he's a piece of garbage for leaving her there and then leaving and coming back to Florida on his own. You know, people will say, oh, he was panicking. I get it, but I have no sympathy for this guy. You know, he may have done something accidentally to her that led to her death inadvertently, but he left her there in the wilderness, accident or not. And to me, it's just completely obvious that you know, this was a murder, accidental or intentional, in the Spread Creek area. And all these people that are theorizing that this is a hoax and that this is, you know, like, give me a break. Like, Brian's as guilty as sin. Give me a break. Like, the man's on the run. The man's either dead and killed himself or, you know, hiding. But the thing about it, the suicide theory, and we will find out in the days to come, they're obviously hunting him down, but I don't know that a guy who's willing to drive 36 hours after killing somebody, again, accidentally or intentionally, is a suicidal guy. He sounds like a guy that's going to drive 36 hours to his family and then, like, not report the girl missing for days later. That sounds to me like someone who intends to live and get away with it. That doesn't sound to me like a suicidal person. So I'll let you guys go with that. But thank you for everything you're doing, and my condolences to this lady's family, because this is obviously Gabby, in my opinion. We're going to find that out very soon, and it's just so tragic.
Thank you. I appreciate the call. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I need to ask you guys in a live chat. I mean, are we done? Do you guys want to move on from call? There's people that have been holding on for a long time, but there's just been so many calls. There's literally, it tells me there was 80 calls. Like, we didn't take 80 calls, but, you know, people have called, people have hung up, not waiting and stuff like that. So it's just, right now there's 18. I don't think we can make it all through. So I put a poll. You guys tell me what you want to do. We can see. We're just waiting for the press conference. Is the chat too fast, dude? Should I slow it down a little bit more?
Separated from the mail. Keys are on the hood. You want to tell me?
Okay. We'll see what you guys vote in the chat what you want to do.
Some days I have really bad OCD, and I was just cleaning and straightening up the back of the van before, and I was apologizing to him and saying, I'm sorry that I'm so mean, because sometimes I have OCD and sometimes I just get really frustrated. Not like mean towards him, I just like, I guess my vibe is like, I hear him be like in a bad mood. And I was just saying, I'm sorry if I'm in a bad mood. I've just been really stressed. I had so much work.
Let's slow the chat a little bit more. If you need me to, I can do it more, but we'll see how that goes.
I used to work at
2 minutes on it?
Juice Bar, but I just quit my job. I was a nutritionist.
I don't think I've ever had
That
spam
was
before.
my job, and I just quit my job and started traveling across the country. And I'm trying to start a blog. I have a blog and stuff. So I've been building my website. So I've just been really stressed and I didn't really believe that I could do any of it. So that's kind of been like a...
Yo, so guys, I'm going to end the calls. I'm so sorry for the people that are on. Please don't hate me. Don't email me later, like cursing me out. I'm so sorry. And there was a lot of people that called, man. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. The press conference is about 20 minutes away. So again, yeah, thank you so much for calling. This is weird. Like, I've never hung up on people. It's kind of weird, but sorry, man. So, yeah, I guess that's, yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say, right? Thank you guys, though. Thank you. I love you. So, okay, we're done with the calls. Again, thank you for everybody that called. Made some really good points. We did calls for probably, I don't know, over an hour or so. Okay, let's just hear what the body cam.
Like I said, you're not in any trouble.
We're just waiting, guys.
Take a
Press
seat.
conference. I'm checking my email too. Live on scene. Yeah, if you guys have any live footage, send it my way. We'll check it out. Okay, we got No, you sent me the same one. I think it's the same one. Oh, no, you're right.
According to this person that was also in the area. And that matches.
And because it's been on social media, do you believe that's why the attention again has garnered so much from investigators here?
Oh, yes. I mean, social media has been key in this investigation. Investigators said that from day one, that thanks to Gabby's well-documented lifestyle that she had on Instagram, that they were able to really get a good footprint of this trip they were on. And then that led to more people, of course, seeing all of this information that we've been putting out on social media. I know the story has been wildly popular on TikTok. That is one of the newer social media platforms that is really used a lot by the younger generation. And so that is where some of these tips have actually come out of, is TikTok, and people posting video like they saw that couple that saw the van on August 27th. They posted that to YouTube. And so this story really has spread internationally, I would say, because of the power of social media and the power that it's held in sharing all of this information. And like I said, Cold Podcast, Dave Colley host, he was able to find that public profile that Gabby had on this app. There you go. That's another digital forensic way of tracking her. And so it's really, honestly, mind-blowing when you think of how a digital footprint can really link you and show your life. I mean, this couple was posting these videos and they were posting pictures very actively on Instagram, and that proved to be so helpful for investigators as they were trying to narrow down where Gabby was.
Now, Morgan, I know that you covered everything that was happening in Moab as well. So all of that we see on Instagram and TikTok and these types of platforms, it looked like the couple was so happy, but there was trouble, we learned, during their travels, right? Talk a little bit about what finally was uncovered in Moab a couple of weeks ago.
So this came out on Wednesday, that there was a police incident involving Laundrie and Petito on August 12th. And we got the police report. I actually have it in my backpack still with me. I went through it extensively, and it showed that they got into a fight outside of a co-op in the Main Street area of Moab, which is a very popular area where you'll find all of the visitors typically grabbing their food and whatnot. And so a lot of people claim to see this fight. Someone called 911. Actually, I have found out a few people now called 911 about this fight. Police were able to catch up with the couple outside of Arches. And it's eerie seeing and hearing their voices, and the way Gabby was uncontrollably crying, talking to police about their fight. She said that that Laundrie really stresses her out, and she has really bad anxiety and OCD that led to a fight that morning about the van being dirty. But then we have a witness that told that told the 911 dispatcher that he saw them fighting over a phone. And so that's also detailed in the police report. And so what happened there is, let me walk you through exactly what this person says they saw and what Laundrie and what Petito said. So they told police that they got into a fight. Brian tried locking Gabby out of the van and told her to calm down and take a walk. And the driver's side window was down. Gabby then tried getting in, and with the scuffle, she hit Brian in the face, I believe, with a phone or something. You see him, he has cuts on his eyebrows in this body camera video that Moab police captured. And then Brian said that he raised his voice to tell her to stop, and he pushed her away. And so that is what this witness saw. It also lines up with what Gabby and Brian both told investigators. There is a discrepancy, though. I will point this out. I watched this hour-long, 17-minute body camera video 4 different times since it happened, or since we got it on Thursday. And I can tell you that I thought it was very curious that Gabby described their morning as being full of fights, and she was very stressed. She was working on a website, And then she told police that Brian made her feel like she couldn't do it and she wasn't able to get it done. And then Brian tells police that they had a pretty great morning outside of the Moonflower Co-op. So there is a difference between how they described their mornings, but there was a very similar tone in how they described the actual fight.
In regards to something like this happening, Morgan, obviously it's centered right there, Grand Teton National Park. Is that because that was kind of the area that she was last pinned? I mean, is that really why the search has gone there? And you've talked a little bit about, obviously, kind of what the social media that's led them to that point. But is that really why they're concentrating in this area? Because they came back, obviously, to Florida, or at least Brian came back to Florida, and without her, and there was no sign of her anywhere. And so this is where they believed she may have last been seen?
Well, we actually know that she was up here because of her mom and dad. This was the area that Gabby told them she was going to when the last time they heard her voice and spoke to her around August 24th, 25th. And so there was a text message that the mom got on August 30th. She said it was kind of weird. And now the family doesn't believe that it was Gabby that sent that text message. And so the parents really were the ones that pointed to the Tetons from the beginning. And we have to give them the credit because their family came out here before law enforcement even had a big search going through the park. They had their family out here earlier this week putting up flyers, asking people, have you seen this person? Have you seen this van? They were out here. And then we had investigators tell us that they were going to be searching the park. And we had the Park Service confirm with KSL TV that they were going to be searching the park. That followed the family's effort.
Now, Garna Mejia has also been reporting on this story, and she was one of the first that talked about this last Sunday night. She spoke with Gabby's mom and I believe Gabby's stepdad, and I know that you've covered that as well. She's been in contact with Gabby's parents this afternoon. They have been spending time also in Wyoming. And Morgan, talk a little bit about the family. What has the family been saying? The Gabby's family has been very vocal on social media, especially when Brian vanished a couple of days ago. They made a statement saying he did not disappear or he's not missing. You know, he ran from authorities. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, most recently, we heard from the family that said, when asked about Brian's disappearance, they said, Gabby is missing, Brian is hiding. So they have been very suspicious of why Brian isn't talking with them and why he's not talking with authorities or his parents. Yesterday, we saw police go, I believe it was Friday night, we saw police go into Brian Laundrie's home where he lived with Petito. And investigators were called there by his parents. And so first it was the thought that the parents were going to talk about Gabby. But I was told by investigators they had their lawyer on the phone, and the parents, Brian Laundrie's parents, told them they were only there to talk about Brian, who they said they hadn't seen since Tuesday. So they have not been answering any questions about where Gabby Petito, their son's girlfriend that lived with them for a year, could possibly be.
Now, I know, Morgan, this case really blew up on Friday night when apparently Brian's family, for the first time, allowed the investigators to come to the home. And I think that was a revealing news that their son was no longer there. They don't know where he's at or anything like that. I know investigators at one time had said, we know exactly where Brian's at. He's a person of interest. We're following and we know where he's at. But apparently they didn't know where he was at. Is that what you kind of have learned?
Yeah, this guy pulled one.
That has been, I think, a question on everyone's mind. That is,
police,
how did Brian Laundrie leave his home without any, one, police seeing him, two, his parents knowing where he was going, or three, anyone in the neighborhood spotting him? Because we know eyes have been on that home. Because it was announced on September 11th that Gabby was a missing person. Later that night, September 11th, they found the van at the Laundrie's home in Florida. So then the following day, there was a lot of chatter about this case. It really intensified on Tuesday. And then come Wednesday was when he was named a person of interest. But from the beginning, the parents told investigators, we will not answer questions, and Brian will not be answering questions. You can funnel any request that you have through our attorney.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's so much information that everyone wants, especially Gabby's family. We did just see this. You probably saw this as well, Morgan, that Northport Police, who's been conducting the search in that nature preserve in Florida, they just sent out a tweet, said the call is off for the night due to darkness. That's what happened again last night. Now, as we learned a couple of days ago, Brian's parents said that he left to go to that nature preserve, and so that's where investigators have been looking for Brian for the last couple of days. So as far as what you've covered on this over the last week or so, what have you seen as far as the shift in the efforts from investigators, not just here, but also in Florida?
Let me turn off the alert.
Well, it was a really bizarre situation when we saw the police go into the Laundrie home, because immediately I thought in my head, do they have a search warrant? Does that mean that they have evidence? But
so, for all the new people that have joined, thanks for stopping by. Hit like if you wouldn't mind. We're waiting for the press conference, which should be about 10, 13 minutes if they start on time. People are saying this is her. Officially, they've been putting out it's unconfirmed. It looks like some media is saying that it's her. And supposedly, I don't know if they wanted to contact the family or something. So we're just waiting to see. I mean, this is going to be big, once if they confirm it's her. We're done with calls for now. I got several emails, but they're still calling. The calls are done for now, because we were doing calls for several hours. I'm sorry for the people that I had to hang up on. But this is it. We're waiting. They found a body in Wyoming in get the name right. I don't know if this is the exact area, but Spread Creek, dispersed camping area, or undispersed, however it's called. And so we're just waiting for the update. So yeah, we'll see. According to CNN, in the same area where the searchers have been looking for Gabby Petito, identification has not yet been made. FBI and law enforcement agencies will hold a press conference. So we're just waiting to see. And once that press conference is over, then I'll probably call it a stream, because we've been here for a while. Got a couple things to do, but I really want to hear what they have to say. And then this just really opens his door with this guy, Brian, man. And is he sitting back somewhere watching all this, This is
up right there. You see investigators kind of surrounding the scene. And according to a photographer, it appears that he did see that body. But of course, we're not showing anything like that or any evidence that may hamper the case or anything like that. But we have been able to confirm through CNN that a body has been found. We are now just 11 minutes away from a press conference where FBI, also Grand Teton National Service workers are supposed to be there, and others to fill us in as to what's going to be happening here. Anything else developing out there as what you're seeing there, Morgan, right now? Are you noticing more people showing up?
I'm seeing our national news networks rolling in. I am still seeing actual people with hiking boots on that are in the park. This is a public place still. So, yes, we still have a lot of people that are in this national park as we are about to have this very, very large press conference.
And I want to point out that this is just a good reminder that responsible journalism does take some time. So we started seeing reports immediately that were unconfirmed, and we felt like we need to hold on until we get confirmation from a credible source, which is when we saw that CNN had confirmed with the Teton County coroner that was, in fact, a body. No identification on that yet. We hold on to information until we feel like it's confirmed and we can responsibly report accuracy.
Ooh.
Yes. Well, Debbie, we saw this scene from the air with Chopper 5 around noon. We were holding on to this information to do our due diligence in this process. You owe it to the public to make sure you are careful with your reporting, and you especially owe it to the family members that could be involved in this case.
Yeah, this case obviously has just really touched the hearts of people all across the nation, if not world here, because I know this has just blown up on social media. Here you have a 22-year-old young gal, a 23-year-old young man who just go on what was supposed to be, it appeared, as this amazing, wonderful, great trip. across country.
Yeah,
to the
hashtag
west.
van life.
Yes,
van
exactly.
life.
We know that that's very popular right now, the whole van life scene, and especially documenting it on social media. It appeared from the videos, from the pictures and everything, that everything was just going so wonderful and so great. And then all of a sudden we see the video coming out of Moab. We knew there was trouble there. But apparently they did travel through Salt Lake City. And Morgan, take us through the Salt Lake City connection there and then on their way to Grand Teton. What happened in Salt Lake City here that kind of brought this case to the forefront here locally?
Well, I think we can say that it really brought attention to Utah because they were spending so much time at our parks here. I mean, we saw that they went through Zion, they went through Bryce, they went through Canyonlands, Arches. They did the whole park systems. I think at one time they were even at Capitol Reef. And so they were spending a lot of time in Utah, and we know that. And then they were confirmed to be in Salt Lake City August 20th and 21st. So we know that the dad told us that he ordered them food. And at this point, we know that he ordered Gabby food. There has been speculation to whether or not Brian was there with her. I know I haven't been able to confirm reports, but I've heard from some people that Brian possibly might have left at some point. But we do know from Gabby's dad that he ordered food to her to a hotel in Salt Lake City, August 21st.
And Morgan, I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but a lot of people have wondered, why did it take 10 days for her family to report her missing? I know her parents live in New York, and she lived with the Laundrie's parents and Brian in Florida. Did they not know that she was not with them? Is that why we had that 10-day lapse?
So at this time, that week, right? The last text that her mom got was August 30th. So we do know that Gabby was in contact with her mom, and then then her mom lost contact with her, and she wasn't answering her calls or her texts. Her mom has told us that she tried reaching out to Brian. She's reaching out to also his parents, who, again, Gabby lived with at one time, and they were not getting back to her. And so that is what really, I mean, put yourself in the mom's shoes. If you weren't hearing from your daughter and the person that was with your daughter on this cross-country road trip isn't telling you where she is or isn't even texting you back. And so the mom immediately then, when she was figuring out that she couldn't get a hold of her daughter, and Brian wasn't telling her anything, she went to police. But I think the problem that she was running into is really that he was across the country. The mom lives in New York. Dad lives in Florida. And that's a state lines that you are crossing trying to report a missing person. And so finally, the parents were able to file that report with Florida investigators. And then we had New York agencies that were also involved. It's been a pretty complex to track everything through all of these state lines.
All right, Morgan Wolf joining us live from the phone there at the Grand Teton National Forest. And we're waiting a press conference to start here in about 6 minutes here. We may learn a lot more. We're going to go ahead and bring in Matt Rascone, who's also digging into this. He joins us from our breaking news center here in our newsroom. Matt?
Yeah, guys, just been following what's been happening in Florida. So Wyoming, of course, that's where the big developments are today. But we know that day 2 of the search for Brian Laundrie over in Florida has wrapped up, and at the Wildlife Reserve not far from his home. So Laundrie showed up at his home, as we've mentioned, in Northport on September 1st after traveling for a couple of months with Gabby. He arrived with her van, but without her, as far as we know, and she was reported missing 10 days later. Since then, Brian, he's refused to talk to police. That's at the advice of his attorney. He was named as a person of interest shortly after she was declared missing. And his family wouldn't talk to police either, though, until Friday. And on Friday, that's when police arrived at their home. There was a big crowd outside. The assumption was the family was finally talking about Gabby, so there was some excitement. Instead, we learned the visit had everything to do with Brian's disappearance. And police said in a press conference actually the day before that they knew where Brian was. According to his family, though, on Friday we learned Brian was last seen Tuesday. That is when he packed a backpack and told his family he was going to an environmental park. He drove there in a Mustang. The Laundrie family apparently said they picked up that vehicle on Tuesday, so they knew where he was. They knew that he was leaving. On Saturday, investigators began searching the Carlton Reserve. That's a massive park that covers 24,000 acres. Dozens of police officers, they were joined by FBI agents, drones, canines in the search, and it was the parents that led investigators to that area and where they continue to be. Police have been trying to get information on Gabby from the Laundrie family, but because they were not and have not been investigating this as a crime, there were no search warrants, there was no detaining. They only talked to the family when they requested it. And of course, that turned out to be all about Brian. The Northport police spokesperson actually said the parents were on the phone with their attorney during that search on Friday as police were going through the home. And I think that was just to make sure that police weren't asking them anything about Gabby. And so we're still trying to figure out exactly what that means. But the search has wrapped up on day 2 over there at that reserve, that wildlife reserve, not far from his home in Northport. Guys.
Yeah, and I know, Matt, in regards to the time out there, obviously they're 2 hours ahead of us. It's 6 o'clock there right now. When it comes to the Brian Laundrie family, they were not cooperating with police they basically just kept referring to things to their attorney. Is that correct?
Right, yeah, and the attorney.
So just a couple more minutes, guys. 3 minutes if it starts on time. I have 2 streams open just in case, just so we don't miss it. In the search today in that massive park, again, day 2, it ended up with nothing. Yesterday, there was a false report that a body was found out there. That wasn't true. And so now they're saying day 2, nothing. And I mean, it's a huge, massive area. I wonder if they're going to continue to search that area. Like how far, if he was really out there, how far into that? I mean, it's massive. We were looking at it earlier. Could he have gone out there? It's probably not out there. And I know that they do have drones with thermal stuff that they can do to kind of spot things in the cooler time of the day, like in the evening, or I don't know if they can use it at night. So we're waiting, man. We're waiting. We got 2 streams here. I got ready, just kind of loaded. Everybody's just waiting 2 minutes.
Got in contact with them, especially the family members that are here in Wyoming. So I woke up this morning to a text from them at about, I want to say it was 4 a.m. They had reached out and they said, Garna, we saw this video, that YouTube video. Can you please help us get the word out there? They're searching in this area. We just need help. We're asking anyone in that area with those dates to the 27th and the 30th of August, if they saw the van, if they saw Brian, if they saw Gabby, to please call into that FBI tip line. And so that's kind of how our communication started this morning. And as we know now, how...
I see that there's other feeds that have, I think, the video up. So let's go with the one that's already up.
JB Buno.
Or not.
Major developments this evening in the Gabby Petito disappearance. We're moments away from a press conference at Grand Teton National Park in the area where the Florida 22-year-old was last seen. A body has reportedly been found during today's search efforts. Hey there, folks. JB Buno here with you live on WFLA. Now let's show you our live feed from Grand Teton National Park. You can see here that
Let's see something. Okay. I just want this. The hot mic. The video footage. Let's see what's going on here. I'm going to keep the other streams open just in case, because sometimes they have audio issues, and so in case we have to switch back and forth. But yeah, this is the press conference, man. Let's see what they have to say. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting like, I'd appreciate that. And yeah, I wasn't expecting this at all today. Never had this many people on a live before. I was actually going to be done like 2 hours ago, but we're just rolling with it. And some of the messages that I missed. Let me see. Speaking Facts said, I need to make a channel of me reacting to news too. Good work. I think people are tired of things happening in the world. Yeah, man. A lot of people have news channels. I've done a lot of crazy stories. While we're here waiting, I don't want to take away from like what we're doing, right? Like with this missing person and stuff. But there's so many people and so many stories that I covered. I went in person up North Florida. I met with this family, Veronica Reyes Diaz. I interviewed the father. Okay, no news person ever did this. This didn't get any attention, 2,000 views. I also met with the family and they did this whole, I met with Pink Justice, a search team. I met with them for Layla Cavett. She went missing. We actually searched in some places. And then I met with them again for Veronica Reyes Diaz. We're actually having an event up North Florida. They haven't announced the date. Pink Justice. And there was this crazy story in Opelika as well. A triple homicide. They dumped the body in the backyard of this abandoned house. I actually went through the abandoned house. Super creepy. I do a lot of on the ground stuff too as well. This story, you know, it's just spinning and turning how it's turning for me. But I do a lot of on the ground stuff where I meet up with people when I can. There's a whole bunch of stories I could think of right now. But Veronica Reyes just sticks out in my head. There's Darius St. Swain from Tallahassee. There's a body that was found in the canal recently that I went out to the place and I went through the woods. It was pretty crazy. So, you know, I've been doing this for a couple of years. And a lot of the stories, sometimes it gets attention, sometimes it don't. I've never covered anything that's gotten this much attention. I mean, I get this all over the place, so it's only natural to cover it. But there's a bunch of people. There's Sophie Reeder from Fort Lauderdale that went missing. Last seen on camera. I actually spoke with a private investigator on that one. Sophie Reeder, local to me. I do a lot of local cases as well as different states. This one didn't get a lot of attention. You know, still missing. Oh, they're covering the camera. Why? Who's doing that? There we go. There we go. Okay, they're setting up. I remember that.
Please don't fall over.
Oh, this story was crazy. Yeah. This guy too, he solved the case for a missing person. I did an interview with him. Really good guy, James Terry. A story from Michigan, and it turned out she left on her own. There's so many twists and turns with different stories. She actually left on her own, Gloria Alvarado, and that was a whole mess too, because there was another girl that went missing around the same time.
What's up?
So with her, it had to do with drugs and.
Yes, it's there. It's
that was pretty
now,
messy.
Right? Yeah, I'm gonna call into the control 1 second.
It had to do with drugs.
No,
and,
we're about 5 minutes out.
Somebody said stop promoting yourself.
Control room right
this is
now.
my channel.
Bye.
Don't promote yourself. I'm just telling you, you guys, there's other stories that you can check out too on the channel, you know, on your free time or whatever. Let's see what else. Anti-vaxxer guy. Bro, when there's this many people and nothing you can do with the chat, I told mods, sometimes they message me like, oh, it's crazy, whatever. It's like, yo, there's nothing you can do, bro. When it's this much, you just let it go. Just let it rip. But they're setting up. This is some other video here too. It's a little bit past 6. Waiting to see. Yeah, I'm promoting it, man, because there's so many other stories, you know, people that have gone in person and met, spoke with. Oh, that's the TikToker. Well, let's see, man. I wonder if they're going to say anything about Brian as well. Like, are they going to announce that, like, I don't know, now he's wanted or now he's a suspect, or, you know, is there something that they found there as well that could tie, if it is Gabby, that could tie Brian? It's kind of weird, just like I guess the whole setup. But thank you, Speaking Facts, for that. Philly, thank you. Madison by the Sea, thanks for keeping up with the lives during this case. iCkEdMeL, thanks. Sunshine Side of Life, they found her body during a volunteer-led search. I did hear that too. I haven't confirmed it, but I heard that. Corrections gear. Oh, let me not say that. Joe Biden. Thank you, Allison. Christine, I wonder when the parents got that camper. The first day of news coverage.
We can't check audio levels. Can you just check the audio level on REM 2 AT? I'm just going to talk into the mic. This is the mic check. Mic check. Mic check for New York. New York, mic check. Checking mics. Checking levels from Wyoming. Control, just let me know when the level is good. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check.
Right? Thank you, Claudia. Continue to promote yourself. There's so many missing persons stories. They also deserve attention.
No audio.
There's a bunch.
No audio levels. Keep talking. I'm going to keep talking. Doing levels. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Audio levels. Grand Teton National Park. Grand Teton. Check. Keep talking. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Nothing?
I've heard a couple of people mention the cop. Some people said that thing was a 666. Some people didn't say it was 666. I don't know, man. On this hand. This is the big moment,
we found
man.
The problem. Control. Do you hear me now?
This is the big thing, man, because and this story is not over. You know, whether it is her or not, you know, I think people are saying it. I mean, I would think maybe it's probably her. I'm leaning towards that, you know, in that area. But there have been several people in that area that have gone missing, you know, but it's just the timing and everything. Could be her, likely. Hey, South Florida, native Hollywood Beach, Patriot here. Nice, man. I kind of love Florida, even though it's crazy. I kind of like it. I hated it when I first came. But especially now with everything that's going on around the world, I like it over here. Just waiting. Hey, got a lot of Florida people here. Maybe they'll recognize me one day. Out in public. Pompano Beach. Hey, Brevard County, baby. The person said, what's happening? We're waiting. There's a press conference. A body was found in the area they were searching for Gabby Petito in Wyoming. Bro, people got me yesterday on the Teton thing. Oh, man. There was like at least a couple hundred comments on that. And I got a personal message too. I mean, the person was really kind, and he was just like, "Listen, this is how you pronounce it," or whatever. I was like, "All right." iCkEdMeL, it's Sandy and Barbara on Hollywood Boulevard. We have you playing on the speaker car. Oh, cool. Thank you. We watch you all the time. Yeah, man. There's gonna be. I feel like I'm gonna get spotted one day. I think I have once at the beach. Petito. Oh. Uh-oh. Just drop.
is in fact, it's hard, you can't see too well if it's Florida plates, but trying to comb through and determine whether or not this is in fact the Laundrie and Petito vehicle.
This is the vehicle everybody was talking about.
You know, trying to figure out exactly what they can see. And there's a lot of people trying to enhance this video on Reddit and on TikTok. But I don't want to get too far away from the matter at hand here, folks. We'll talk more about this.
Thank you for not using foul language. Thank you. I try not to. I have, though. I think in the last live I did, I called somebody the P word. I try not to, though. All right, here we go. We're starting.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll have time for a brief statement. Because this is an ongoing investigation, we won't have time for questions. Please. Good afternoon. My name is Charles Jones. I'm the Supervisory Senior Resident Agent here in Wyoming for FBI Denver. Standing with me here today are Acting Chief Ranger Matt Wilbur with the National Park Service, Hunter Bailey, who is Chief of the National Park Service Investigative Services Branch. We also have Teton County Sheriff Matt Carr and Jackson Police Chief Michelle Weber. First and foremost, on behalf of the FBI personnel and our partners, I would like to extend sincere and heartfelt condolences to Gabby's family. Joe and Tara Petito and Jim and Nicole Schmidt. As every parent can imagine, this is an incredibly difficult time for the family and friends. Our thoughts and prayers are with them. We ask that you all respect the privacy as they mourn the loss of their daughter. As you are aware, FBI personnel, in coordination with our partners at National Park Service, the Forest Service, Teton County Sheriff's Office, and Jackson Police Department, have been conducting an investigative activity in the vicinity of the Spread Creek dispersed camping area. Earlier today, human remains were discovered, consistent with the description of Gabby Petito. Full forensic identification has not been completed to confirm 100% that we found Gabby, but her family has been notified of this discovery. The cause of death has not been determined at this time. We appreciate your continued support and patience as we work through this process. The vicinity around Spread Creek campsite will remain closed to the public until further notice. This is an active and ongoing investigation, so we ask everyone maintain distance from law enforcement personnel and equipment, vehicles, and related activity for their own safety, as well as to protect the integrity of our work and respect privacy for Gabby's family. We appreciate the tremendous support from the public. The support from the public's response to a request of tips has been remarkable. We continue to seek information from anyone who utilized the Spread Creek dispersed camping area between the dates of August 27th and August 30th. Anyone that may have had contact with Gabby or her boyfriend, or who may have seen their vehicle in that area. Please share any new information with the FBI at tips.fbi.gov or 1-800-CALL-FBI. And finally, the Denver Field Office Direct is 303-629-7171. Photos and videos can also be uploaded at fbi.gov/Petito. We thank our partners at the National Park Service, the U.S. Forest Service, Teton County Sheriff's Office, and Jackson Police Department for their collaboration and diligence in this investigation. They surged their resources in a very short amount of time, and their personnel have intimate knowledge of the rugged terrain that we're dealing with, which made this process much more difficult. We greatly appreciate the invaluable skill and expertise of the Teton County Search and Rescue Team. We also thank the community of Jackson and the surrounding areas for the hospitality and for accommodating a rapid influx of law enforcement personnel in the area. In order to protect our investigative process and increase probability of successful prosecution should it be necessary, we have no additional comments. We appreciate your cooperation and respect for Gabby's family, loved ones, during this difficult time. Thank you.
So can you please tell us why you led to that campsite in particular as opposed to...
It's an ongoing investigation, sir. We cannot answer those, unfortunately, at this time.
Wow. So they say it's her. You know, they still have to do the confirmation, like the I guess the DNA and stuff, but it's her. So now is this enough for Brian to bring him in? Or are they gonna say it's not? And where the hell is Brian? And is he out there watching? Is he watching watching the press conference? There is there's two people that I want to call, and then we're gonna, I guess, end off because we've been here for a while. I don't think this dude is somebody said, why did I speed up the comments? I slowed it down actually, and it somehow went faster. I don't know. I don't think you can speed it up. Let me do this. It's not really it. I guess we kind of knew this would probably be it.
Oh my gosh, that's so horrible.
How you doing? Thanks. Italy. You go by Italy, right?
Yeah. Hey.
How crazy is that, man? Condolences to the family. Horrible. I'm sure they probably contacted the family before they went on. But,
yeah, definitely. Yes, definitely condolences to her family, to her little brother Joey. I accidentally subscribed to him because I thought it was the dad. I didn't really go in and look at the page right away. I just kind of hit the follow button. And he followed me back this morning, this little boy. And I was thinking about him. Oh, I'm about to get emotional. I was thinking about, as a child, you don't really get the concept of it. And now his sister is gone. And I just want to put that out there. And I hope a lot of people don't go running to his page because it was pure accident. And I just feel so bad for the family. I was on hold with you.
Yeah.
First of all, congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
I was there when it was 30 of us in the chat. We all knew who each other was. And now it's like I can't even get a word in. But
I know.
I had wanted to discuss, people were saying that he hasn't been seen, but no one is really talking about the incident between the father and Brian on the 10th, the day before.
Right.
Yeah, the day before they went ahead and filed.
That incident on September 10th, we don't know that Brian was involved, though. He was at Brian Laundrie's home, Gabby Petito's father, and I thought that most of the information was redacted, but we don't know what happened.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the domestic incident, September 10th, right?
Yeah.
Before she reported missing. Yeah. Unless it updated from what I read at the time that the information was redacted, Gabby's father did go over there. Nobody really knows what happened.
Oh. Okay, so he could have got into it with the other father against father, trying to stand up for their children.
I'm thinking maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and then people keep saying, "Oh, he's in Mexico or he's out of the country." That is very possible, but also if he can't get out the country, Alaska. No one thinks about Alaska. Alaska is a great place to run off and hide to and never be seen again if you're a professional hiker. I don't hike, I walk the beach, but yeah. No one's really thinking about outside of the box. He could be anywhere in America, or he could be in another country by now.
But for him to fly out, they would be able to track that, right?
That's what I would think. That's what I would think. But then another thing I thought about is they are right there by the water. If somebody has a boat, a friend has a boat, a family member has a boat, God only knows where he could truly be.
Right.
I mean, it's just crazy.
Well, thanks, man. Was there anything else that you wanted to say, or did this kind of change everything now that we got this?
This kind of changed everything. So I'll think about it, and then I'll get back with you with whatever comes to mind. Right now, I'm about to continue listening to you while I figure out what my family's going to eat tonight, because now I don't feel like cooking. I don't even feel hungry anymore. I'm just, I have kids, and my oldest will be 25 on the 25th, And then my youngest is 16, 3 girls and a boy, and my boy's about to be 18 in February. And it's just like, you can't control what happens. And I'm thinking, that's another thing. As a parent, I was thinking, you know, how far would I go for my kid? You know, tell my kid shut up and don't say anything. Let me get a lawyer. That's always the first thing you do, especially as a Floridian. You know, living in Florida, you know, people stand for what they stand for. And if the law says, let me get a lawyer and not say anything, that's what I'm going to tell my kid to do too. But then at the end of the day, now this changes everything. Okay, her body has been found. I need you to explain to me what really happened, because God only knows what he's telling the parents, you know. So, but all right, Mel, I'm gonna let you go. Talk to the next person. Love you.
Appreciate it.
I'm so happy for you. I'll be talking to you soon.
It.
All right, hon. All right. Bye.
Yeah, we're not really doing calls. I'm just doing some quick little. There's 2 people. She was on hold for a while, and I know her, so she was like, you know, I want to call another friend. Hopefully, he's on point. He's been watching everything, because if not, but the whole thing now too. What I'm wondering, man. Okay, and I honestly, my feeling from, and I haven't said it because I just didn't want to put it out there. I felt she's been dead. This, you know, something happened. I don't know. You know, I feel like she's been dead. Now, okay, so now the spotlight, of course, it's on Gabby, but it's also now on this guy as well, and what's happening at the house. And there's media still out there. Supposedly they blocked it off. They read that they did something so people can't, if you don't live there, you can't access it. And I think maybe media is not being really allowed over there, waiting to see if anything changes outside Brian Laundrie's house. Now that the FBI says the body found fits the description. The other thing too is people are going to be looking, people were already kind of looking at Brian's parents, but they're going to be looking even more now. Like, what have you been, you know, what did you know? What have you been deceiving us about? Did the park thing even happen? All those sources, people searching thousands of acres, helicopters, those little swamp boats, dogs, drones. 2 days of searching. The search ended for today. Are they going to go back again tomorrow, or is it pointless? Okay, let me call one more person. Again, thank you guys for tuning in, man. Really unfortunate. I can imagine what kind of anger, you know, I mean, I shouldn't even say, you know, but just even as a parent, just wanting to go over there and like break the door down or something. You shouldn't do none of that stuff, because in the long run, it's going to be. Man, let me give this one call here. I feel like the parents have been kind of helping out Brian. They've been holding back. They know more, and they've been protecting their kid. Okay, so we're done with that. Don't answer. We're done. But yeah, I guess that's it, man. I mean, that's kind of the latest updates. Now, do you guys think this guy's still alive, Brian? Or has he hurt himself? I had the feeling like this guy's going to hurt himself. Some people don't believe he would. It wouldn't be in his character. You know, some people say he's a narcissist, so he wouldn't kill himself. Pretty crazy, man. Insane. Somebody, let me see what the chat is saying. The chat's going so fast. Let me just give a little bit of what you guys are saying. Oh, this is delayed too. Refresh it. Yeah, we've been here almost 4 hours. I believe that's the correct counter. We've had some issues, ups and downs, disconnects, but thank you guys for riding with me. Tamara says, yeah, she's been dead since she stopped talking to her family. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they knew she was dead, just waiting for it. Because that guy almost slipped up. Actually, I forgot about that. A couple of you guys caught that. The connection's acting funny, so we might cut it. But a couple of you guys caught that. Some people said, if somebody has the clip, send it to me. Was it the cop that was talking and accidentally, before all this happened, said homicide? Homicide investigation, right? Wasn't there a cop that slipped up and said homicide investigation before Gabby was found. So they probably knew, or at least thought, this is a homicide type of thing they're looking at. I was looking for, somebody sent me something earlier about, and I can't find it, that maybe Brian would hurt himself, but I forgot where. I mean, I know there was where the Northport police spoke. I'm trying to find it. And yeah, again, thank you for everybody that called in. I'm sorry I had to get off. And I'm not used to doing all those calls, but thank you. Let me see real quick too while we end off.
And you feel, and I'm sure the people out there are thinking the same thing. You feel like you knew a little bit about who Gabby was. No one knows more than the Gabby Petito family and those closest to Gabby, but just, she was a free spirit as we understand it. She was somebody that loved to go on adventures. She was somebody who was magnetic and loved sharing her experiences with the world. And no one's, they had difficulty on the road, the two of them, and find me a couple that hasn't had difficulty on, or gotten into an argument, but the arguments don't end like this story did. And again, more on that here in a moment.
A lot of this stuff has been happening recently. All the violence, domestic violence, people killing each other over fights and stuff. It's been increasing, especially now. The other thing too with the van life, I saw somebody comment about this the other day under some YouTube video. I don't know anything about the van life. All I can assume is that, you're just living, off the grid kind of, or just on the road and you're traveling and everything's in your van. And somebody commented, the van life is not the life that people think it is, especially if you're stuck with somebody 24/7 traveling all over the country and you saw they're sleeping in the back of the van. There's almost like no escape. And then somebody commented under that, it's like sailing with some, being on a sailboat, right? And you think maybe, and I've never been on one, but you would think it's like this wonderful trip and we're out in the ocean. But what if you have problems with that person? And you guys start arguing and things start to escalate. There is nowhere to go. And these guys are young. So I remember like when you're young, sometimes it's like it's the end of the world, these relationships. You got to be with the person and you guys are not good for each other. And somehow you still think you need each other or you're drawn to each other. I guess codependency. I'm not an expert in this stuff, but just personal experience. And now I'm just like, I love having time to myself. I love being at peace. Don't want to be arguing with somebody. Don't want to be dealing with the drama or police or anything, Oh, the connection's dropping. Oh, of course. Yeah, no excuse for murder. Van life, it's not all it's cracked up to be from what I hear. I'm sure there's people out there that they love it. But, you're traveling to these places. You got to pay to take a shower. That's what that... Is it Coulter Bay? Coulter. They got on me about that too. Over here. There. Coulter Bay Village. That's what it's like. You come with your RV. There's people out in Walmart all the time too that are out there with their RVs. With the Layla Cabot one, there was this guy that was there all the time. And I believe he was there the night, where the incident took place where she was murdered, or, she's still haven't found her. I believe she was murdered. His RV was out there and he's always out there, this guy. And there's people that just live off road and you got to pay, for your showers and stuff. And the other thing too, they spoke about is the supposedly social media, and that he referred to it, I think, in the body cam as her little blog kind of thing, like putting it down, which and the best friend said too that, like, he didn't like her social media, kind of put her down. It's like a waste of time. That's a thing that a lot of people have to go through. I've gone through that. And to be in a relationship too, I couldn't imagine right now. I could not imagine being in a relationship and doing this. And I have a child. I could not. There's just no time. How? and a lot of people doubting you, family, friends, you're wasting your time. What are you doing? You know, like the other person that called in. I remember when you were here with 30 people. After the story's over, we'll probably be back to 100 people live. It's just the story, you know. The other thing too, I learned about. I think I learned this the other day. It's not about me. People are not here for me. They're just here for the story. You know, they're just here for the story. I mean, there's a couple of people that have been writing for a long time, but for the most part, people are just here for the story. So don't let your ego, which is something that I've learned a while back that I had to get a control of on a different story. Like this story supersedes that by like 10 times, but I'm not losing my mind acting crazy because I've kind of learned to humble myself a bit. And the realization that, I mean, it's just social media, man, and people, they're not really here for me. They're really not. I'm not that interesting. You know, it's for the story. And there's been the whole TikTok thing too. I saw people were talking about TikTok. I get it. And there was a couple callers talking about that and whether they're real or not. And there's a lot of people that come up with fictitious stories. Like, what is the deal with that thing yesterday that somebody said they heard a body on a scanner? Was that just somebody trying to get the media? Like, is somebody just making things up to get everybody riled up? You know, people do malicious things on purpose when there's a missing person. There was even a thing with the FBI that was put out not too long ago that I covered, that when there was a missing person, you get these scammers calling the family of the missing person, and they'll be like, yo, we have your daughter, your son, you need to pay up. And they'll maybe have somebody screaming in the background, pay up or you'll never see your child again. There was literally people targeting, oh, there's a missing person. All right, let's get the scam going. But I know in that YouTube channel, it seems like it had more videos than one. Because when I watched that video to the end, it goes up to next video. And it's like it's a black box, meaning there was like supposed to be a video there, but it's no longer there. And I think I've heard people say they've taken videos down, but I know the grind. I get it. I'm still on the grind. I get the whole thing. And so maybe that was a lot of pressure for her too, wanting to build something, wanting to grow. And she had a website and all this stuff. And you got one person that doesn't want that. And if he's jealous, if it's true that he's jealous and everything, being on social media and being with somebody that's jealous and trying to create a following, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Every little message, every little like, every little comment is a problem. You know? So, guys, the body is confirmed. It's found. You know, they have to do DNA, but they said it's her. So I'm sure there was things they could see visually, obviously, maybe, you know, in the clothing and everything. They still have to do the DNA stuff for forensics, but it's her. So again, man, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. We've been here almost 4 hours, man. Condolences to the family. I just think about this guy, Brian, now. It's just, where is this guy at? The Northport police just posted, saddened and heartbroken to learn that Gabby has been found deceased. Our focus from the start, along with the FBI and national partners, has been to bring her home. We will continue to work with the FBI in the search for more answers. They gave their condolences to the family. Somebody here said, this is highly irresponsible. FBI just gave a briefing stating body matching the description of Gabby who was found, but not 100% confirmed. They gave their condolences to the family. They said it's her. They believe it's her. They just have to do the DNA. So I don't know, confirm, unconfirmed. They were already searching in this area. Given the timeline and everything, I believe it's her. Maybe there's some people that, you know, don't believe it or having a hard time, but yeah, thank you guys, man. Have a good evening. Be safe. Take care. Thank you again for joining. Hit like on the way out. Thank you guys in the chat. I appreciate that, man. And yeah, we'll talk. Who cares about him now? Well, I think that maybe he might have answers. I mean, I guess it's not going to change the outcome for Gabby, right? Trust and believe that people know what he looks like. Yeah. Oh, I don't know how this guy's going to hide. This dude's face is everywhere. I don't know, man. Unless he's in a basement in a shack somewhere. But yeah, take care, guys. Appreciate you again. Be safe. Have a good night. Later, man.